Did you ever think you would make it? I feel I'm so close I could taste sweet victory. I know this life meant for me.
Adam, what's your point? The future looks bright.
My handshake is better than anything I ever signed. It's right here.
You are a one-of-one?
My son's right about
I don't think I've ever said this before.
We got the special John Morgan in the house. Back at it. John, how are you?
Good to be back.
Great to have you back on. We have his new book that just came out, Life is Luck.
Right.
If you haven't ordered it yet, put the link below. We're going to learn a lot about John. We got a lot of stories to talk about. Gas prices. Tom, oil prices, what right now?
76.
Down to 76, which is good. The Iran deal signed June 14th. Somebody hinted it was going to be on June 14th.
I know that guy.
And so that's done. New York Times comes out with a second edition of the Epstein story, which we'll get into. Gavin Newsom's wife, Vinnie, Jennifer, I think was tied into something. Newsom is saying he's coming after me. I want to know what John you think about that. We'll get into that as well. The president said Israel wouldn't exist without the U.S. Mike Huckabee comes back and says U.S. wouldn't exist without Israel. Thoughts on that? Pride Night, Vinny's been celebrating for the entire month. He's kind of disappointed the month's coming to an end.
Yes.
But MLB has said that you can't even put certain scripture on your hat right now. So I know you're not too happy about that. Those who follow Messi, he had a hat trick yesterday.
Incredible.
Ridiculous.
First time ever. He had a hat trick in the World Cup.
Against Zidane's
Broke a bunch
son.
of records himself against Zidane's son as the goalie of Algeria. Mbappe had 2 goals. I think Haaland had 2 goals. He crushed for Norway, looked very good. And then aside from that, couple other stories that we got to get into as well is, you know how Chick-fil-A was always known for the best, you work there, they give you the best customer service. It's no longer Chick-fil-A. Somebody took over Chick-fil-A. They're furious. They're so furious, they're thinking about opening back up on Sundays.
What?
Because they're always closed on Sunday. I don't think they're going to do it. That's my speculation. But somebody took over, and the first name of that restaurant starts with Jersey. Jersey. And the last one is a guy named Mike. So combine it together. Let's see if you agree with that or not. SpaceX, Michael Burry wants to short SpaceX, although the stock's been going up left and right. And then last but not least, finally, Russell Crowe comes out and makes comments about Gladiator 2. I don't know if you had a chance to watch Gladiator 2 or not. He had different thoughts. We got to talk about it. I'm a big Gladiator guy. I'm not too happy about what they did with this one. And aside from that, we may have a couple other stories. Now, for those of you guys that are watching, for the great fathers, your boxes are coming to you this week. I can't wait for you guys to get. We sold out. 500 boxes went out, so someone's getting it. Very happy about that. However, I'm hosting a free webinar specifically for those who are fathers, and I want you to watch this video to find out when the dates are. Go ahead, Jake. Can't hear the audio, guys.
We can't hear it.
Can you go back to the video and put the audio?
I want to set that up.
We are standing by, buddy. We're
standing.
ready. We're not going anywhere.
I'm still
We're here.
standing.
You know, go back and start from the beginning. The most powerful quote. Do it again.
You might want to set it up, Pat.
Fathers. All right, let me just do it from the beginning.
Yep.
Guys, hang on a second. If you are a father and you want to find out how to raise strong kids in this crazy time that we're living in, I'm hosting a free webinar. Again, watch this video. Go for it. Fathers, one of the most powerful quotes I ever heard was the following. Your ceiling is your kid's floor. Let me say it one more time. Your ceiling is your kid's floor. The more we raise the standards on the way we lead, on the way we live, on the way we make money, on the way we take care of our kids, that becomes the floor for them to go above it. So if you're watching this, I know deep down inside, we all want to be great fathers. Legacy matters to you. You want to raise them well. You want to look at them do great things bigger than you and I did in our lives, right? If that's important to you, because I know it is, July 1st, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm doing a free webinar to share with you what's worked for me and what hasn't. If you want to be a part of it, click on a link above or below, register. I look forward to seeing you there. Do we know what website it is to go register for, Humberto? Do we know the site on where to go to? We're going to put the link below or above. Is there a site? Because there's a site that we typically use. What is the site? What's the site, the domain? Alicia doesn't have it written here. If we have the domain to give it out, that'd be great.
Can I give a little respect to whoever put this thing together? I mean, I see
listen, I
Tico and
can't
Dylan
wait
right
for
here.
it.
Looks great.
I can't wait for it, but there's a site that we drive it to, Humberto. Can't hear you guys. VTwebinar.com. So typically when we do this kind of stuff for the team in the back, for the Spotify guys, it's good to give the domain as well. Go to VTwebinar.com to register. Go to VTwebinar.com to register. Everybody at the end will get the notes to be given. 10 conversations you should have with your sons. Bunch of different things. 6 different types of fathers. If you haven't registered for, go to VTwebinar.com. Register. We look forward to seeing you there. With that being said, let's get right into it. The first topic I want to talk about is the Iran deal. So, Tom, your first reaction. We're in D.C. We're at the White House event. We're having an incredible time. Jets are flying over, right? All this crazy shit's going down with the jets flying over. The fight, Topuria. Nobody thought Topuria was going to lose to Justin Gaethje. You have all this other stuff with Gagne takes out the giant, right? What's his name? What's the guy that he beat? Pereira, right? All this stuff that is taking place. But then on that day, on his birthday, he does the Iran deal. Initial reaction to, Tom, what are your thoughts?
Well, the initial reaction was, wow, what are the points? What are the points there? Are they going to give up the uranium? That was one of the reasons we were there, bombing and trying to bring them to their knees. When is the oil going to be released? But what was really amazing was that they got to a milestone, and I'm thinking, okay, are we going to go back? Are we just going to find out tomorrow? Oh, they didn't do it, now we're bombing again. Oh, they didn't do it, we're bombing again. But then we see things from, what was it, Pat? The Pakistani, Istanbul? Mm-hmm. The Pakistanis are saying, no, this is real. We helped with some of the intermediation. No, this is real. And started hearing it was real. So the first reaction was, wow, thank goodness this is coming to an end. Now, where's the fine print? Do we get what we want? Do we get there? But the reaction that I was having at that time to the initial headlines was, hey, this looks real. This looks like it's happening. So felt good about that. The 14 points come out, and there was a lot of diplomatic stuff in them, and it's like 60 days. It's just a memo of understanding. We're like, uh-oh, is this like a ceasefire that could go sideways? But they got it done on the 14th. And the key things that were in there was the strait's going to be open, oil's going to get through. Within 30 days, one of the points in the 14 points that was released by Reuters today was that within 30 days, the number of tankers and the millions of barrels of oil per day needs to be at the level it was back on February 20th before the war started. We want to get back there. So 30 days, we want to get back to the February 20th, open, lots of ships going back and forth. There was that. And then it was this weird point that said we want the status quo on the uranium, and then we'll negotiate over the next 60 days. So that one was, I wanted to see something more definitive, but the point today simply says there will be status quo on where uranium is. So I'm optimistic at this time. The markets are reacting well. I'm glad we're here. I'm crossing my fingers this isn't a ceasefire, that at the end of these 60 days, we have a hard agreement and we have things moving forward. And I was very glad to see Lebanon's part of it.
Adam.
Look, a good friend of mine called it. June 14th. I don't know if we want to play that or anything like that, but I have a good friend of mine who I doubted maybe 2%. I was like, I don't know, Pat.
2%?
Bit.
It was not 2%,
Listen,
buddy. You were like, it's going to take,
okay,
I'm not really in a hurry how long it's going to take. The deal's going to take till the end of the year.
We have the great John Morgan here.
Yeah, don't say 2%.
Come on.
I believed in it, but I doubted it.
Yeah.
But I'm
with you.
Here's the dirty little secret. Here's the deal. Trump is the greatest showman and marketer we've ever seen, maybe in America, certainly as the president. He's working on this big deal. He's not letting anything, friends, allies, enemies, get in the way of, on his birthday, UFC 250, we got a deal. Here's the dirty little secret. They don't really have a deal. They have a memorandum of understanding. And what are the chances there's going to be a little misunderstanding in the next 60 days? I think there will be. This isn't really a peace deal. So you know how we always say short-term pain
for the
long-term game. This deal is kind of like short-term gain for long-term pain. Because in my prediction, Trump is basically saying, listen, we got to get stuff done before Labor Day, right? Because that's basically when election season kicks off. So let me just smooth this over for 60 days. And honestly, I could see Trump flipping this, winning the midterms, and you know what might happen after the midterms? Don't tell Iran. We might bomb them again. Because what are the chances you trust Iran and the IRGC? And I'll just end with this. There's some winners and losers of this potential deal. Number one, it's Trump, big winner here, right? The IRGC, big winner here. If they can stay in power, are you kidding me? Big loser here, unfortunately, will be the Iranian people. Whatever way you cut it, they will not be free. We'll see what ends up happening in the deal. There's a lot of people complaining. I'm grateful, no matter what, that Trump is the president and nobody else.
Let me come to you, Vinny, but before I do, let me kind of give you an idea what these 14 points they're talking about. Immediate ceasefire of hostilities. Number 2, end of fighting in Lebanon involving Iran-backed groups. Reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. Free commercial shipping through Hormuz. U.S. Navy blockade on Iranian ports lifted. No new U.S. sanctions during negotiations. Waivers allowing Iranian oil exports. Release of frozen Iranian assets, roughly $24 to $25 billion. Roadmap to lift U.S. and possibly UN sanctions. Iran pledges not to build nuclear weapons. Iran freezes expansion of enrichment of nuclear facilities. 60-day negotiation period for a final nuclear agreement. U.S.-backed reconstruction development fund for Iran. Reports range $300 billion. Discussion of broader regional security arrangements and troop reductions withdrawal if a final agreement is reached. Vinny.
Well, look, Adam's less. Not, I want to say less optimistic. I'm a little bit more optimistic. I mean, like you said,
Wow.
Adam, birth.
I didn't
Like,
see that
think
one
about
coming.
it. 80 years old birthday. UFC fight on the people's lawn. Am I right, Tom? He called it the people's lawn. He didn't call it.
At some point, he reminded everybody that the White House is the people's.
Yeah, and our good friend Patrick Bet-David said it was going to be done by his birthday. I'm more optimistic because, bro, and I said this yesterday, that America is back. He's right now. And by the way, when it was all over, he got on a plane at 3 o'clock in the morning and flew to Canada for a G7 summit.
France.
Oh, France. And then he walked.
Canada would have been an hour flight. Flew
And he
They
walked-
got
across
drive
the
through
world.
McDonald's and Canada on the way.
Canada on the way there. And then he walks in, and what does he say when he gets to that round table? He goes, I'm the boss, because he is. Okay?
That's true.
It's been a couple of days. There is no bombing. Everybody's calmed down. But, I mean, just
What are you
Just give him.
optimistic about?
I'm more optimistic, Adam, because this guy and a lot of people are like, he's not calling the shots. He's controlled. Let me explain something to you. He has people in his ear. I think people are trying to persuade him. At the end of the day, nobody tells President Trump what to do. He calls the shots at the end of the day, and I don't care which way you try to sway. By the way, Pat makes all the decisions. You don't think I give Pat some advice? I go, Pat, maybe this. You give him, Adam, different advice. Tom gives him different advice. Right now, if he asks him about a topic, Mr. Morgan's going to give him different advice. At the end of the day, he's making all the decisions, and he's calling the shots, and I think that's what Trump is doing.
And,
period.
Adam said something. He said, hey, they don't have a deal. And only thing I like to say is the U.S. says that they've got a deal. Iran even said they have a deal. How many times did we have the ceasefire and Iran said, I didn't really agree to anything.
Yes,
I really
they went
haven't
back and
agreed to
forth.
anything.
Yep.
That's not happening now. Both sides are saying, yep, this is our MOU. We're going to sign it this week. Pakistanis are saying, yep, I'm in the middle of this too. That's the first time everybody's been around the table all saying, I think we have something of an agreement here.
Great. John, your thoughts on this? Are you optimistic? You think something good is happening?
Here's what I think. And it's going to be a different take than everybody else's when you said he's 80 years old. Look, he became president talking about no more wars. That, he blasted no more wars. But he got here and he's 80 years old. And he's looking to the future. The future to him is, like mine, shorter than your future and your future just by age. But yet he's made a decision to do this. This whole thing is driven by nuclear holocaust from Iran. He could have kicked the can, but he didn't. Mm-hmm. He decided to do this. And when he did it, he knew what was going to happen. He knew that gas prices would go up. He knew affordability was the issue he got elected on. He knew that was the issue that would drive his poll numbers down. And guess what? His poll numbers have been driven down as a result of this. But here's where I think that Trump's going to be rewarded. When he said he doesn't care about the midterms, he does very much. That's why they're trying to change districts all over the country. When he says he doesn't care about inflation, he does. But it turns out that this guy would rather leave us, the world, not us, the world, in a safer position, because nuclear weapons in the hands of those maniacs is the most dangerous thing facing us and our children. And Israel's not happy about it because I don't know if the uranium's ever going to be taken, the dust or whatever they call it. But I think the secret message, and if I was Trump, if I was Susie Wiles and James Blair, what I'd be talking about is he's putting his own personal popularity over his present popularity for the rest of us. And a nuclear Iran is a danger to the world, the most dangerous in the whole world, because they think that when they die, they go to 7 black-eyed virgins. So they're okay with nuclear holocaust, you know.
Seven black guy virgins.
Black-eyed.
Oh, black-eyed.
72.
72 black-eyed.
72 black-eyed.
And you were going to say 7 black guy virgins.
Well,
that's like that's very
that'd be
rare.
good.
to
Like a
find.
great weekend.
That's an oxymoron.
And where the hell would you find that?
That's an
That
oxymoron.
would confuse the
But yeah,
players.
so I think, and by the way, while he's at it, he's jerking the Venezuelan guy out of his bed. He's got the Castros under the couch. He is doing some serious house cleaning for the world on his 80th birthday. And I think that's going to be a secret story that'll be told later to his benefit.
Can I add one thing?
Sure.
Not even
Yeah.
about Iran, about what he's doing for the world. I found it a little ironic because he flew out to the G7. And to see the leaders of the world, Macron, Italy, Keir Starmer, Giorgia Meloni, all these people, line up like school children to take pictures with the guy that's in charge of the world. And here's what I know. Trump's the leader of the free world. He knows it, and more importantly, they know it. So the message for all the Democrats out there and for the people who hate Trump, world leaders are lining up in line like it's seeing Michael Jordan to take a selfie. So if the world leaders are getting behind Trump saying this guy's in charge of the free world, maybe you should consider what they're doing. I just want to add that because he's in charge.
Yeah, and by the way, while this is happening, Humberto, is this the clip you guys got here? Let's play the clip. Everybody kept saying, why are you June 14th, June 14th, June 14th? Go ahead and play this clip here. Go forward.
Great suit. By what date does it need to turn around before it's over for the midterms? What? Give me a date, Tom.
Pre-World Cup. Pre-World Cup. My date for him is June 14th.
Bingo.
My date is June 14th.
Yeah.
I've said it. June 14th is a June 13, June 14 is a day to get it wrapped up. And you know what they said yesterday? It's as if they're watching a podcast. You know what they said yesterday? They said Trump's day to get this thing done is June 14th. A lot of people, if you go to Kalshi, oh, this thing's not going to get done till next year. It's not going to get done till September. It's not going to get done till July. I said it's going to get done before June 14th.
What do you think our deadline is?
June 14th is our deadline.
Why is that specific number?
World Cup starts. It's Trump's birthday. Everybody will forget about Iran come August, September, and we'll be moving on with interest rates going lower, gas prices going lower, economy coming back up. We're going to be looking at World Cup, 4th of July celebration, 250 years. But U.S. has a deadline. U.S.'s deadline is June 14th. Can you imagine this guy gets it done on his birthday? And he's going in there. FYI, UFC's going on. He's shaking hands. Then he's flying to Paris to go meet with Macron. When he pulls up to the desk, I don't know if you guys have that clip. He pulls up there and says, hey, the boss is here, right? He's talking to Macron. Then there's conversations that, I don't know if you guys have that clip in the back of the boss is here. Connor or Humberto, if you guys do, if you want to pull that up. If not, he pulls up there. He has that meeting. He is talking to them. They're asking about Dana. He says, Dana's great. Dana's great. He put the UFC fight. Yeah, this is the clip right here. Watch this, folks. He pulls up telling everybody he's the boss.
Hello, I'm the boss.
Yes, he is.
Was he like joking when he said
Totally
that?
joking,
Okay,
but
gotcha.
they know he's the
But
boss.
he is. That's the whole
Keir
point.
Starmer doesn't show up. Macron says, let's get started anyways without Keir Starmer. So
Yeah.
you got to realize at this point of the game, you can say whatever you want about him. He has gained credibility amongst who? His peers,
Yeah.
his enemies, his allies. They're sitting there saying, damn it, this was a guy that we thought he was a TV show guy, but apparently he is a lot more than that. And one of the conversations that was had, guys in the back, if you want to prepare this, is when he said, you know, the reporter asked a question, what do you think about Israel if they go out there and attack and they hit another Hezbollah? And I want to leave it to the Syrians. You realize if it wasn't for U.S., Israel wouldn't exist. That whole exchange, there's 2 clips. If you can find that clip, and then after that clip, I want to go to Mike Huckabee because I want to get your thoughts on this. I love it when I see the president putting his position out there. Now, you got to keep in mind, these comments that he makes here, a lot of Iranians are not happy about this comment. And you see which one I'm talking about. There's a comment that he makes. Guys, do you know which clip I'm talking about in the back, Connor and Humberto, if you guys are looking for it? there is a very, very interesting moment. This is it. I think this is it. Go for it.
Israel's fighting Hezbollah too long, and too many people are being killed. And you don't have to knock down an apartment house every time you're looking for somebody. Because there are a lot of people in those apartment houses, and they're not all Hezbollah, that I can tell you. And I suggested to Israel to let Syria take care of Hezbollah. Because to be honest with you, I think they do a better job of doing it. And I didn't like Syria. I didn't like where 2 hours before we're signing the agreement that there was an attack in Lebanon, in Beirut. It wasn't like in the southern side, and it was in Beirut. I did not like that. I let them know that.
Love that he's saying this.
I didn't like it, not at all. But I think that Syria, he's pulled that country together amazingly quickly. He's very capable, and he's been very good for me. He's protected everything that I've asked for. He's done.
So,
and
you missed the one
if
part.
Israel can't do the job without killing everyone else.
This wasn't the clip. There was another clip where he says Israel wouldn't exist without the U.S. And then Huckabee responds to, this is the clip I was looking for. Go for it.
But you wouldn't have, if it weren't for the United States of America, with me, because Obama was the opposite, Israel would not exist right now. Israel would have been blown off the face of the earth, 100%. And every smart person in Israel knows that.
Okay, so then go to Huckabee's clip. Go to Huckabee's clip on what Huckabee says, because Huckabee responds in a complete different one. By the way, first time I saw the Huckabee clip, what's the first thing I thought about? I said, this has to be a year old. This has to be 18 months old. This can't be new. This cannot be a reaction to what the president said. Go for it.
It's also my job to represent the importance of Israel to the United States. This is just another reminder that it is your heritage, without a doubt. But, Minister, it is also the heritage of the United States. Without Israel, without the Jewish Foundation, there would not be an America. We owe our very existence to what happened in this land.
Tom, what problem do you have? Is there anything wrong with what he just said, or is there an issue here?
Well, you have to dive down pretty deep, but I think Mike Huckabee did a very poor job communicating that. He should be talking about, listen, the pages of history, the hinge of history, are very dating system, BC, before Christ, AD, Anno Domini. Well, wait a minute. What he's saying is, Israel was where Western civilization starts after Israel falls, after Christ ascends, after then Catholicism emerges in Europe. Yeah, if you want to go back there, you can do that. But what he's doing at a pro is he said, it is my job. I'd like to know who he's lobbying for. And I just think it was poorly stated. He can say, listen, Western civilization dates back to my heritage, Christ, and then Israel, and then all of the countries that were back in those days. He could say that. But when you say it that way, you're making it sound like we're in post-World War II helping people get back over the right boundaries of their country. I think it was poorly stated.
John, do you have a problem with that?
Look, the deal for me with Israel is this. They were slaughtered. They were given a sliver of really a bullshit piece of land. They turned it into this oasis, and now people want the oasis after they turned it into what they turned it into. And Iran wants to wipe them off the face of the earth. I mean, imagine living next door to neighbors who you could see in their house, and they're moving around with weapons. And so it's self-preservation for – I don't get into all the biblical stuff. I get into, Hitler, the relocation of the Jews. They set it up. And look, they had to fight because, the war, whatever the war was in the 60s, I mean, people have been trying to take their land forever and ever and ever and ever. And what other options do they have? So Mike Huckabee, with all that, I agree with you going back to before Christ and all that is I go from right after Hitler.
Vinny.
I mean, Mike Huckabee, what's his job? He's the
I don't know. It is
ambassador of Israel.
ambassador.
And again, I agree with Tom. He's in front of an audience. He's going old school, old school. We wouldn't be here because of Israel from the Bible. But I mean, you hear like, where is he? Was he in Israel or was he here making that speech?
Israel.
Okay, so he's obviously pandering to to their crowd. That's what he has to do.
No question.
Oh, me? Look, they're both right. This isn't a lowest common denominator. I mean, America wouldn't exist without the biblical prophecy of essentially the old Hebrews. When the pilgrims came to America, why were they called the pilgrims? Because they were making pilgrimage, and they viewed they're leaving the old world as an exodus to the new world, where they set up Salem. You know, the Salem witch trials. Why was it called Salem? Like Jerusalem. So to try to separate the branch of Christianity, which led to America, from the tree, I think is a fruitless endeavor. I think there's a shared common values of the Judeo-Christian values of the Bible, of Moses. I told you the story when I met with Mike Johnson, and we looked in the House of Representatives, and he said, listen, there's two things I want you to focus on in this entire room. In the entire room, he said, in God we trust, and turn right around, there's Moses giving us the 10 commandments. This doesn't have to be a bipartisan or a lowest common denominator thing. They're shared values, and they're both right. And by the way, Trump is absolutely right. Trump has reshaped Israel to be what they are today. And for anyone that is pro-Israel that is not grateful for Trump, shut up. You're not going to get what you want with everything. By the way, that goes for the MAGA people who are basically like, I'm not a fan of Trump anymore because he attacked Iran. So you're going to leave the guy that got you to the dance because you don't agree with one thing?
Yeah.
To the Trump haters and the Trump lovers, appreciate what we got and stop focusing on the negatives.
Tom, you look like you want to react.
Yeah, there's something else that was in what Trump said. I agree. What Trump said was correct. If it wasn't for us, there wouldn't be Israel. But who did he call on and support when he was talking about the region? Syria. We have to remember what happened when Bashar al-Assad fell. That was a full regime change, and Ahmed al-Sharaa is the new leader of Syria. What did he do? He went out and said, we can't have this ISIS crap. Syria hereby joins the anti-ISIS coalition. That first. Second, they went and they made peace with Turkey, and Turkey committed to provide military support and defense to Syria. And then Syria joined with U.S. and others saying we have to stop, Iranian funding of Hezbollah. That's right across our border here in Lebanon. So Trump is also saying something there that I think we need to back up and realize. Syria has flipped. We're talking about regime change in the Middle East. Syria turned and is now in a position to do exactly what he talked about. So I think he was right on Israel, but also we should pay attention to what he said about Syria.
Yeah, I just have a response on the Syria thing. If there's one thing that I'm like, yeah, I don't know about that, President Trump, it's this whole breakdown of what he thinks Syria is. Syria is a fallen state that is being run by this guy, Jalani, who's literally a former Al-Qaeda terrorist that's probably responsible for a lot of our allies and American deaths. Let's get real here. And the fact that Trump was like, listen, let's just have Syria take care of Lebanon. You know what? Go right ahead. Leave Israel out of it. What could go wrong when Sunni militants from Al-Qaeda clash with Shia militants from Hezbollah? What could go wrong? I don't know. 1 million people dead from the Syrian civil war not too long ago. So I would pump the brakes on trusting in Al-Qaeda terrorists to bring peace to the region.
But one thing you got to remember, I think
said that.
about Trump.
No, I'm saying that. I'm not saying you saying that. I'm saying that.
About Trump is, I think one of his philosophies is, you should take care of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when he looked at NATO, he was like, you all need to do more to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Now, there's some risk in that because Germany becomes reconstituted because they're not stupid people, but you should take care of yourself. He pulls the Venezuelan president out. He tells the woman, I can pull you out next unless you get in line. Mm-hmm. Guess what?
Chelsea Rodriguez.
Yeah, she's in line. You guys are smart. You all know more than the national press.
We're in your world, sir.
And so, and his whole concept is, when he talks about America first, I think, is we'll take care of you if we have to, but generally speaking, you take care of yourself. And I think that's why he's saying to Syria, You take care of yourself. I'm never worried about Israel. Israel will always take care of themselves.
Can I give him credit? I think this deal is the most America first deal possible.
Yeah.
Why? Israel's a little upset. Bibi Netanyahu ain't happy.
Right.
He wasn't even in the negotiations.
That's right.
The Iranian people aren't exactly thrilled to hear that the IRGC is going to stay in power. There's a lot of people that are unhappy. And you know who should be a little bit more happy and grateful? All the America first Trump haters who are criticizing him. He basically sold out Israel. And by the way, as a pro-Israel person, I'm not complaining because I'm more grateful for Trump than I am complaining about things that I'm
This is what
disagreeing.
I love, because every contradiction got exposed in that 2-minute clip. One, who does Huckabee work for?
United
President of the
States.
United
So
States.
what does he have to defend? United States.
Yes.
Why are you reacting to what the president said? I don't like that. By the way, if you worked for me and you did that, I wouldn't be happy about that.
I understand.
I would say, what are you doing? What are you doing reacting to me in another country? I gave you the job. What are you doing reacting like that? You're not validating my point. You're undermining me. I'm not okay with that. I actually didn't like that, and I'm a big fan of Huckabee. I think Huckabee's actually a good man. I didn't like what he did right there. So, number two, a lot of Iranians are not happy. A lot of Iranians, there was a clip with J.D. Vance, I believe was with Megyn Kelly, if you guys can find this, where J.D. Vance says, you think this was positioned up to put Reza Pahlavi? If you just type in J.D. Vance, Reza Pahlavi, Megyn Kelly on X, it'll come up. So a lot of Iranians are like, and by the way, to Iranians, I actually understand when they say, you said regime change. You said Iranian people stay out there. You said regime collapse. You said IRGC is going to be gone. So he did say that. He did make that point. So the Iranians are like, what happened to it? But maybe because they didn't find a replacement. In the recording, when he says, I placed them there, when he said Syria, I placed them there. What does I placed them there mean?
Him and Erdogan kind of helped.
But what is he saying? I placed them there.
I put him there. I'm in charge of him.
So if he says, I placed them there, does that mean he has the ability to place people in places? Yes.
Or remove them.
Or remove them. But I placed them there is you can do it again with somebody else.
Yeah.
But here's J.D. Vance on Megyn Kelly. Go for it.
Of 95 million people, where again,
Guys, let's clips playing in the background. Can you turn off the other clip on the background? This happens every once in a while. You got another clip that's playing another place in the background. Did you guys find it? Go for it.
of 95.
I still hear the president.
So anyways, there's this clip that happens where he says, J.D. Vance says, you know, we could have easily, like, you think the president was going to place Reza Pahlavi there? Well, guess what? A lot of people thought he was. A lot of people thought this was going to happen. I'll just play it off my phone so you guys can go for it.
Of 95 million people, where again, the president of the United States never said that his goal was to install Reza Pahlavi to become the new leader of Iran.
His name
what he said is, if the Iranian people want to rise up, great. That's their business.
This
That's between them and their government.
You know why I disagree
what
with
we
this?
want is a cessation of their nuclear program,
no problem.
either through diplomatic means or through military means,
I don't
as he
know.
ultimately
Okay.
went down that pathway.
So great, J.D. Vance, the great communicator, he can communicate this message to Megyn Kelly. If Trump really wanted to place Reza Pahlavi, could he have done it?
If he wanted to.
Why didn't he do it?
He said he wasn't a strong leader. He saw through him, and
He
was
said
like,
he was a nice guy.
He said he was a nice guy, and that was it.
So now the Iranian people are furious because that didn't happen. Okay, so one, he calls out Bibi publicly, which I thought he was his puppet. No, Israel's not happy. The Iranian people are not happy. The people that were saying, hey, I thought you were a non-interventionist, you don't want any wars, any of that stuff, he's pulling out. He could have stayed there for a while. The what do you call it? The uranium's out. The only thing that becomes problematic here where it shows that the negotiation was lost, the following. The part I'm not happy about is the $300 billion. It's the part I'm not happy about because that is a form of I'm giving you the money. Now, if you go read the book Economic Hitman, this is a business model where you come in and you put your people in. I don't know if that makes sense or not. So if you come in and you build $300 billion in a country and I'm building those in, I'm officially slowly crawling into your system. So I slowly have access to what's going to be happening in the next decade or two. The difference is it's going to be under a different president, so who knows what is going to happen. But there's no question that this man just proved he's America first. No question. He made a lot of enemies with this deal, and he's saying, no, this is what we're doing, we're moving on. And he's validating the fact that, hey, do you think if Iran was easier to take over, today would have been a regime change or a regime collapse?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so which means we learned what?
It's hard to do.
Iran is a lot harder than Venezuela.
Yeah.
Well,
Iran is not
it's because
Venezuela.
Iran will kill themselves, kill their own people before they cut a deal to the enemy.
Sure, but the point is, you have to also sit there and say, is this worth the juice? Is it worth
the what,
us
sir?
Is it worth the juice of us going there? Juice, not JEW.
I said, what'd you say, sir?
So is it worth the juice? And he's sitting there saying, no, I'm going to come back and do it this way, and here's what we're going to be doing. And the market's
Fully
like,
agree. Yeah.
People were so confused. But just yesterday at the Iran game, guys, I don't know if you have these clips or not. I'll send you some of these clips. I don't know if you guys saw this or not. Did you see any of the stuff that was going on in the game?
I saw
afterwards of them fighting and say, hey, I'll send you this one here to show fights after fights after fights with people that are wearing the two different colored, what do you call it?
At the Iran game, the Iran flag?
You play the one I sent you because there's a lot of them. I like the one that I just sent you. There's quite a few of them to pick from. That's one of them I like. The game's going on. Iran's playing. Iranians are outside.
This is in LA, by the way, right?
This is, I think it's in LA at SoFi
sure
Stadium. And you're seeing them screaming at each other in Farsi. If you don't speak Farsi, you want to understand what they're saying. Press that audio button on the bottom right, guys, before you press play. Thank you. Go forward. So she's wearing the IRGC flag.
Yeah.
This lady's wearing the IRGC flag. This lady. Of course, she's got her hair covered.
Got her hair covered, yeah. It's not very ladylike.
But the other ones are, this one, they're wearing the Shahanshah, the Shah's flag. And they're calling them terrorists.
He's saying, shame on you. Yes? Shame, shame. Like in Lord of the Rings,
listen.
Game of Thrones.
Gosh, Shoma. By the way, this is, FY, you can pause it right there. You can literally find thousands of clips like this of what happened at the game. John.
I don't know why she wore the flag. I mean, you're looking for, you walking into a bull ring with a red cape around your back. I mean, she's looking for trouble in L.A.
Yeah, and so that's the part where Iranians are sitting there saying, you promised us this, you promised us that, and if they have to choose between blaming Trump or blaming the sun, 9 out of 10 times, they're going to blame Trump. He's going to be a lot easier person to blame than to blame Reza Pahlavi. But that's kind of where they're at. If the president really wanted to place Reza Pahlavi, he could have done it. Why didn't he do it? You got to answer the question. You, the Iranian people that are pro-Pahlavi, why didn't he do that?
But it might be harder than anybody thought. Look, what have we learned in these new wars? When they start wargaming the new wars, look at the Ukraine. I gave them like 2 months. We're going up on 5 years. Iran would have been a lot harder to take all the way down because the regime, if they lose, they're taken out into the streets and skinned alive. They're going to fight till the end. And so I think the lessons from these two wars, Ukraine and Iran, is it's not the same wars that we used to think about. And now you got these drones and you got these, Houthis and Hamas and Hezbollah, all with H's. I don't know why all H's, but it's a whole new game for warfare in the world. And now we're going to add AI onto that, which will be a whole nother consequence.
Does that benefit us or them? To be able to, because, spying is going to go to a whole different level with AI the next 5 to 10 years.
Oh, yeah.
Does spying benefit us? Like, will we be able to spy on them better than them on us? I'm talking specifically Iran.
Well, first of all, if I'm going to bet on spying, I'm always betting on Israel. I just want to be. I want to lie. No,
they're the goats in spying.
They are the goats. They are the goats of spying.
There's college, there's pro, and there's Super Bowl.
There's the goats.
And they're. So as long as we're in on their eavesdropping, we're in pretty good shape.
I just got to say, I've agreed with pretty much everything Mr. Morgan has said today. Probably the most important thing he said was, we have no idea how big and hard this deal is to even get done. Those two people who went to the Iran game were both rooting for Iran to win the game. Do you think there's any compromise with those two people on how they see the different flags of their country? one with the IRGC flag, one with the rising lion. Those people hate each other. Now multiply that to every other country in the region trying to get a deal done. Multiply that with Qatar, with Israel, with Turkey, all these different interests in America, Republicans, Democrats. Those two people, both Iranian, both Persian, hate each other. Calling him a traitor, calling him shame, and they're rooting for the same team.
They are.
That's how hard this deal
but
is.
it's a different ideology.
The real.
No, I agree. Just like Republicans have a different ideology than the far leftists.
This is even bigger than that.
I agree with you.
Yeah, this is even
Sunni,
bigger.
Shia,
I was just
craziness.
saying, if you listen to him every time he ends, the real thing that President Trump wanted is he calls it the dust, the uranium,
The nuclear dust.
the nuclear dust. That's what it's all about. And the question is going to be, the $300 billion question is going to be, do we get the dust for the dough? And if we don't get the dust for the dough, I think it's a bust.
I'll tell you one thing I know about Trump. You know how they say Hollywood? It's not show friends. It's show business. Trump's all about business. He wants a deal
Adam,
done.
let's get to the next story.
Yes,
I got
sir.
you. You're excited today. Let's go to the next
I'm
story.
just-
This
got
is
John
good.
Morgan here.
Yes,
Let's
I
get
love it.
excited.
Okay. So meanwhile, Iran's holding the funeral for Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, and guess when they're doing it? 4th of July.
Yeah.
That's when they're doing it. You think it's accidental?
No, someone wants to call it
When
the
is
bank.
4th of July? What day is it on? When is 4th of
I
July?
think it's on a Friday.
So a weekend now.
Is it?
It's a
So
weekend.
maybe it's a coincidence. Maybe
Sure.
it's a coincidence.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like
Right.
an accidental
By the way, he was killed
coincidence.
90 days ago. How long was he killed ago?
Yeah.
He's been on ice.
I mean, how long did he go?
Yeah,
get the
but they
72
needed
virgins?
safety to be able to do the ceremony the way they're going to do it. They're probably going to do it pretty big. Can you guys do me a favor? Can you pull up the clip of what Vance said, denies that Iran will receive billions of dollars of assets in the deal? Because that's the kicker right there, right? Is it going to be just the frozen assets? The $300 billion is the real thing. And even though U.S. is brokering the deal, if I'm not mistaken, it's not $300 billion that taxpayers will be paying. I think it's an element of multiple different countries that are involved in that. Is this it? Guys, about the money?
Yeah, and releasing frozen bonds.
Okay, go for it. Go for it.
People say that billions of dollars of assets will be released. That's not true. What is true is that Iran will have a much better and much more prosperous future if they meet the obligations they make in this agreement. We'll, of course, see. That's one of the things we're going to work out in the technical talks that will follow the official signing on Friday.
Mr. Vice President, it's Ed O'Keefe, and we're so glad you're here in part because, as Republican Senator Lindsey Graham said yesterday, you are the architect of this deal. So let's walk through some of this. The Iranians are saying that they're going to have access to a $300 billion reconstruction fund. True or false?
Well, Ed, that's the sort of thing they could have access to, funded by the Gulf Coast Coalition, so long as they honor their end of the obligation. I think that one of the things you're going to see, Ed, and people have to be skeptical of this, is that the hardliners in the Iranian system will overemphasize the benefits that Iran gets while underemphasizing all the things that they have to concede and all the things they have to provide in order to get these benefits. So we absolutely are open to the Gulf Coast countries investing in the reconstruction of Iran, but only if Iran ends their nuclear program, ends their enriched stockpile of material, and is really open to an inspections and enforcement regime that gives the American people confidence they're never going to have a nuclear weapon. So I think the dance you're going to see, Ed, which is going to be interesting, is the Iranian media, especially the hardline media, they're going to talk a lot about what they get without talking about what they give. It's important for all of us to correct that record.
Well,
pretty interesting.
Well, listen, one thing he didn't want to hear is you are the architect.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that is like,
Yep.
you know, this is
Lawyer talk.
Lawyer
Right?
talk,
That's
and this
great.
is presidential election talk, 2028. There,
right.
he's setting J.D. Vance up, or somebody is, for a big win or a big fall.
Bingo.
Yeah, so this $300 billion is not reparations, just so you know. It's not a guarantee. Everybody wants to know who controls
And
the
it's
money.
a lot of, you're right, it's a lot of release of
So
frozen
Gulf,
funds.
apparently, Gulf states are going to be involved. Private investors are going to be involved. U.S. is going to be involved. It's not a check wire. We're handing it to you. Go do whatever you want to do. There's certain things that they could do to screw up even getting the money. But Tom, your thoughts? What else do you know about this $300 billion?
Well, I love the line that's in the 14 points. While ensuring a financing of at least $300 billion agreed upon by both parties for the rehabilitation and economic development of the Islamic Republic of Iran, together with regional partners to create a comprehensive plan that will be formulated within 60 days. They're saying financing. They're not saying that this is more pallets like Obama sent over there. They're talking about Gulf states. So let me just make it really simple. Do you remember everybody was upset when Dick Cheney, the United States arranged for Halliburton to go back and rebuild Iraq?
Weird.
Well, now it's all the little Halliburtons that are in the Gulf states. They're all going to get their piece of the pie. And guess what? Iran can pay for it with oil. And so they're saying, Pat, it's a $300 million financing. A lot of other countries will be involved. And so it's not pallets of cash the way Obama did previously.
And what you hope, since Trump is a construction guy, the way you build buildings is you meet certain thresholds and then you get certain draws. You don't just get the money up front if you want to be bonded. You meet certain thresholds and then you get a draw and then a draw and a draw.
You know that's how it's going to to be.
I would think. Listen,
Yeah.
Trump is a construction. That's his business.
That's right.
And so he's used construction throughout his presidency, and I can't imagine him rebuilding anything without certain thresholds and construction like draws. And I think one of those draws is going to be the dust.
Yeah, and by the way, that the key in there is you don't get any of the. So one, the Hormuz has to stay open. You cannot do anything. You have to agree to the terms. And if you don't release the enriched uranium that Trump said U.S. needs to see it, I don't want to have another country see it. I want to see it. If that doesn't happen, you're not getting that set up in place to be able to help you out. None of that's going to be taking place, Adam.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I agree.
My opinion, they're never going to see that $300 billion. They could have called it 18 trillion gazillion. They're never going to see that money. Why? Because it's all predicated on if they change their behavior or not. Remember in 2016, we all learned the word quid pro quo. It's a quid pro quo.
Yep.
This entire deal is based on the premise that they're going to be rewarded for good behavior. So Iran, the biggest terrorist regime in the world, the smelly kid on the playground, is just going to overnight be like, we want to be friends with everybody. There's no chance that's going to happen. So whether this is 300 billion or 300 gazillion, they're never going to see this money because they're not going to change the behavior. It's great for marketing. Trump did an amazing job on his birthday cutting this deal. We all know that once midterms is done, I don't think Iran is going anywhere. We'll probably be re-engaged with Iran after midterm.
Vinny, I'm coming to you about UFC. What is the whole thing about plotting, FBI? They were trying to attack the drone.
Okay,
What happened there with that
so
story?
Apparently, the FBI said, and they caught, I think, a dozen and a couple more that were plotting against it. I think they were out of California. They stopped a major planned terror attack targeting the UFC Freedom event at the White House. According to reports, investigators uncovered a plot involving explosive drones, snipers, and even a planned breach of the White House gates during the chaos, Pat. And I'm going to have them show this clip. They wanted to start the chaos outside, funnel everybody into a designated area, and they were going to have snipers shooting at all the people running out. This is the Fox clip right here.
Officials telling Fox a network of nearly 24 potential plotters were identified, with at least 5 people in custody right now. The suspects allegedly traveled to Fredericksburg, Virginia, to make final preparations for the attack. And the alleged plan allegedly included explosive-packed drones hitting buildings near the event, forcing a mass evacuation, and then steering crowds, get this, toward a pre-staged sniper team. A second wave was then planned to storm the White House gate. The FBI first learned of the threat on June 10th and worked with law enforcement across multiple states to stop it.
And you can pause it.
Director
So the FBI has
Patel
arrested
saying,
Ohio man Tyson Proper for allegedly plotting a terrorist attack targeting the UFC event. Investigators say he planned to use the explosive-laden drones nearby buildings, and multiple additional suspects have been arrested. So, I mean, think about it, guys. It's an America event. America's back. You got to have a little bit of terrorism.
Isn't that crazy that this is not even a top 10 story?
It's not. It's not.
Is that not crazy that it's not even? Did you even know about this, John?
I know about it, but I tell you, when I saw the plotters, it looked like Duck Dynasty was trying to, attack the White House.
You were not impressed.
I wasn't. I just wasn't.
Show the duck. He's right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like,
can you show their faces?
Yeah, I mean, it was like when I saw the faces, I'm like, these guys can't. This is
Those
the gang,
are two of them, and there's another
the gang who can't shoot straight.
These guys.
These guys.
Oh, there you go.
Respectfully, these guys look like tough guys.
Yeah,
they do.
Pulling a Jimmy Breslin book out of the shelf there.
Yeah, but Vinny, you had another picture of a couple. These are two of the guys.
Show the main one.
The other guy's name is TYC.
That's who you got to show because that's
TYCEN.
When I saw him, I was like, that guy's like Barney Fife. He can't. They can give him one bullet.
That guy does not look like Ahmed Al Kaboom.
No, that's exactly.
Yeah. That's the guy.
Yeah, no.
But these guys
I'm not worried about him.
Apparently, the story was they wanted to take out Trump, JD, or Bibi because they thought Bibi was going to be at the fight.
Yeah,
right. There's good intelligence there.
Yeah. By the way, watch this 3-minute story. We're moving along to the next story. How crazy is it that this is not a main story? All right, so let me get to the next story I want to get to is, do we want to go to Newsom's wife? Yeah, let's go to Newsom's wife. So Gavin Newsom comes out, posts a video, guys. If you want to pull up the video while I'm reading the addendum story, and all of a sudden you're almost watching him. It's as if he's using the playbook, copying every single thing that the president did. They're coming after me, He is literally copying every single page of the playbook that the Trump used, except they did that to him. Here, he's using a playbook. Let me read it to you. Gavin Newsom says DOJ is investigating him and his wife, and Newsom, a Democrat, did not specify exactly what the Department of Justice was allegedly investigating for, but play the clip. Which clip do you want to play first, him or the other one? Guys, this is 4 minutes and 42 seconds. Just play the first 60 seconds. Go ahead.
In recent days, federal agents have knocked on the doors of family, friends, and former employees. Not because they found a crime, because they're simply trying to find one. Sure. They're demanding records. They're abusing the grand jury process, digging through years and years of random documents. Donald Trump isn't just coming after me because of my mean tweets. He's coming after me because I'm considering running for president. Because he hates that I consistently called him out over and over again for his lies and deceit. Donald Trump is simply the most corrupt president in American history. He's turned the levers of government into his own personal power ministries to reward cronies and to try to jail his opponents. His personal attorney now runs the Department of Justice, which has repeatedly gone after his political enemies. Ask Jerome Powell. Sent them after James Comey, James, Adam Schiff. He sent them after Tim Walz, and a woman that a jury found Donald Trump had sexually abused. One by one, anyone who has challenged Donald Trump has ended up on his hit list. And today, I proudly join that list.
Okay. I think you can pause that right there, Vinny. What's going on here?
So stop complaining about it. It's so funny to hear the left talking about weaponization of the government as if they're just coming out of this from nowhere. So one of the biggest questions raised, guys, is Jennifer Newsom's nonprofit, the Representation Project, reports an IRS filing showed that she allegedly paid herself $1.8 million in salary, while another $2.1 million reportedly went to her production company. It's called Girls Club Entertainment through nonprofit funding tied to donors connected to Gavin Newsom's political world. That's almost $4 million flowing back into her own ecosystem while California lectures taxpayers about equity and compassion. Now, this is days, Pat, literally the day that after that this news broke, the federal investigation, Gavin Newsom agreed to pay $31,500 ethics fine for California's own political watchdog, found he failed to properly disclose over $5.5 million in donor payments he personally solicited tied to corporations, foundations, and wildfire relief funding. And by the way, this just comes, remember in May, we talked about that free diaper newborn tax situation that they did, Tom? Remember, Pat, they were cheating the system? And then this is what I think is happening.
5 times more expensive than Costco.
Yeah, weird. And it's by the chickens have come home to roost because let's not forget, I think this is my opinion, Pat, Dana Williamson, Gavin Newsom's former chief of staff, she pled guilty in May to bank and wire fraud, false tax returns, and lying to federal agents, and the penalty is over 30 years in prison. Think about that. That's, to me, maybe she's talking. Maybe she's blowing the whistle. And just for everybody that's
maybe she wants 30 to go down.
Exactly, to maybe go to 10 to 15. But let's just clear the air. This investigation began under Joseph Biden, not Donald Trump. So all this, everybody's coming after me is nonsense. And let's just be obvious. This is the same guy, Pat, in the same state that spent $24 billion. I'm going to say that number again. 24B with the billion to get rid of homelessness, Mr. Morgan, and what happened? It multiplied. It's as if the money went to make them more drugged out and more strung out to put them on the street.
At least he got the speed railroad done. At least he got that done.
No, Pat, he didn't. Yeah,
he didn't get that done.
He didn't.
And at least it wasn't that big of a budget. It was only a $31 billion budget, and they hit it.
It's not.
But it ended up being now $120-something billion to get it done. Okay,
Yeah.
so that also didn't get done.
That didn't get
By the
done.
way, check this out. When you're saying the $1.8 million, reports indicate that at least one investigation centers on Jennifer's taxes and finances, including her nonprofit, which you talked about, $1.8 million, and a $1.64 million to her company since 2012.
Yes.
To 2012, who's president? Obama's president, right? We're going back 2012. For services totaling around $3.7 million over a decade, conservatives have questioned these. Others describe them as standards for such roles, which this is what the argument they're going to need to make. John, you're here as a lawyer. If you were representing Newsom's, you would represent a different way. If you represent the government trying to investigate them, I'm going to come to you for the question on how would you do it with both. But here's the part. A separate probe relates to Newsom's former chief of staff, Dana Williamson, if you want to bring this up, because we talked about her about 4 or 5 weeks ago, who pleaded guilty in a 2025 corruption case involving a dormant campaign account not directly implicating Newsom. So she took the blame for it. So, John, you're a lawyer. You're one of the most famous lawyers in America. You run Morgan & Morgan. You spend $350 to $500 million of advertising per year. Some of the biggest lawyers in America worked for you. Bobby Kennedy, before he became who he is today, I don't know if people know this or not, he was working for John, and the numbers are public. He made $9 to $10 million working for you, as well as a lot of other big lawyers. You're a family guy. You're very successful billionaire. You've done all this other stuff for yourself. John, give me both perspective. The government comes, they hire you. What do we do here? Newsom family hires you. What do you look for?
The first thing we got to say is, look, one of the reasons that Donald Trump won in a landslide was that he was prosecuted multiple times. So Newsom saw that, and it worked for him. The difference is Trump actually sat in a courtroom freezing his ass off, and he sat there like a bull every day. That's a whole lot different than people rattling your cage. The other thing that Newsom saw is that he tweets out these mean tweets, and he's trying to emulate that, and it's really not working for him. So he's taken the Trump playbook and going that way. The problem for all of them is, look, Donald Trump, after he went through what he went through, his promise was retribution. And he's coming back through here, turning every stone. And you're right, these stones were already turned before here. I've always been amazed at the whole Gavin Newsom, who his wife was, and then who Donald Jr. was with. I mean, the whole thing.
Yeah.
You wouldn't believe it if it was a movie that his old wife. They're all.
Wife was Kimberly Guilfoyle, who was Don Jr.'s
a little bit of a
ex.
party circle.
Yeah, and party circle, and then now she's in Greece, and so that's always got me. You know, it's like the Bidens marrying each other's wives, but the last thing I'll just say about her that is going to be the little secret thing is, you know, when Harvey Weinstein stood trial for sexual harassment, she was one of the people that said he harassed her. And guess what the jury found? No, he didn't.
Consensual.
No, I'm not going to say consensual. I'm just going to say they did not find against Harvey Weinstein on her case.
But then to me, the average person may say, well, then it was a consensual.
We don't believe you.
Exactly.
Yeah, we don't believe
Which could mean to speculating that it was consensual, that he didn't force himself upon you. You're not saying that. I'm saying that.
Right.
Okay. I got it. Okay. Fair enough.
Because I'm a lawyer and you're not.
And so allegedly, one. Allegedly, one.
And always, my lawyer advice to you today: always add the word.
Well, let me.
Allegedly.
I'm so glad, folks. Let me do this. Hey, can you guys
advice?
in the back go to vtmerch.com? So I'm in the insurance business. I've been in the insurance business my entire life. We wanted to make sure that people were protected. So if you just type in the word allegedly, we actually have a collection called Allegedly to protect people. Anywhere they go to work, wear a hat. Everything is allegedly.
Exactly.
So can you do me a favor and put this link? Folks, go wear it. See what reaction you get from people. It is one of the funniest shirts you'll ever wear because on the front it says allegedly. On the back it says future looks bright, and everybody cracks up when you put this on.
Please send me an Excel and also I'm going to name this show after the July 14th or the
June 14th.
June 14th. I'm going to start calling you Patrick Damas because it's not PBD
Allegedly.
show. It's Patrick Damas. Allegedly.
I
Let's get him one of those shirts, ladies and gentlemen.
Actually make a note, send it to Mateo. Let's get him an Excel and a hat. Let's get the whole thing for you. We will definitely do that.
Can we wrap on Newsom?
Yeah, go for it.
Some interesting things. There's a Kalshi up on this. $128 million has been placed on Kalshi. Gavin Newsom has not been able to get over 24% on Kalshi. And there has never been a Democrat candidate at this point, 2 years in, that didn't have 24% in the polls, the speculative polls before the primaries, that was ever nominated. And the big money PACs, some of them are kind of backing away. Would you like to know who has tied AOC? John Ossoff, senior senator, Democrat from Georgia, seen as being a very neutral and strong candidate. He's has this presidential exploratory committee, apparently, allegedly. And you know what he's raised this year? Well, first of all, let's go this. AOC has raised $3.9 million this year. She doesn't need a big war chest to win re-election in her district. Newsom has only disclosed in California filings $13.4 million. John Ossoff has raised this year already $60.4 million. He is developing a huge war chest. I happen to believe that the DNC and big money PACs, I initially was not Nostradamus because I was talking about J.B. Pritzker. I'm not talking about him anymore, but I will say this. I believe the DNC is backing away from Newsom because he's such, right now we say,
problematic.
The dog has fleas, as they would say. Yeah. And I think these fleas are going to be hard to exterminate before they get into there. So would they rather take, are they going to win California with or without Newsom? Yes. Yeah, are they going to win New York with or without AOC? Yes. What are those 7 states?
Ohio,
Georgia's one of them.
Georgia.
And Ossoff would bring Georgia.
That's a good point.
And but the other thing is, I took Joe Scarborough and Mika to the Derby with me this year. Sorry about that, guys. We'll get you next year. But
we go every year. This is actually the year we didn't go.
I know.
John, that's a verbal contract, sir.
Come on. But
can you imagine him at the Derby, how much fun he would be?
Oh, my God.
But, you know, they were talking, and I think they're right. One way or the other, if Ossoff wins his reelection, he's on the ticket. He might not be the president, but he's 39 years old, and this guy is a rock star.
A debater excellent.
Yeah, and so
he just needs to go tanning a little bit. He's a little too white.
Well, I have a saying about tanning. Brown fat looks better than white fat, so I'm always for.
You look great.
And if you can't tone it, tan it. But that's kind of
the Portnoy approach.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I'm going to disagree with our dear friends here, and I don't want to do this. It gives me no pain or pleasure. But if you tell me that you think John Ossoff, a Jewish guy from Georgia, is going to win the Democratic nomination, you're smoking something or maybe taking a mushroom.
I said vice president.
I'm talking to our friend Tom here, and I want to be respectful. Because I think the guy's a talented guy, him and Raphael Warnock in Georgia. There ain't no chance that the Democratic Party is nominating a Jewish guy. I'm sorry. There's ain't no party. Nobody's doing that at this point. Gavin Newsom right now is the guy. This guy, John Ossoff, better work his ass off if he thinks he's going to take out Gavin Newsom. By the way, Gavin Newsom is the most skilled politician in America. Has someone done more with nothing than Gavin Newsom? Name any accomplishment. Go. What he's done more than anything is this look maxing thing. Oh, he's looks maxing.
Yeah, but
no doubt. Karen Bass in LA is woke maxing. San Francisco, which I'm sure we'll get into, is LGBTQ maxing out there. The bottom line is this: do not California my America. You know that phrase you heard? Don't California my Texas. There's no chance in America today, unless we've gone completely insane, that we're going to nominate a radical, progressive California Democrat to run America, unless America completely wants to be ruled.
And
Well, I think Gavin's problem, I think Gavin Newsom's big problem, it was his tactic for this past 4 years is Trump, Hitler, Trump Gestapo, Trump ICE. But meanwhile,
Camera.
Yeah, but that's every Democrat.
But but for him, if
there's
you want to
nothing
be the front
different.
runner,
Yeah.
if you want to be the front runner, everybody at him at the end of the day, there's no amount of gel or a smile is going to take away from the fact from your resume, because that's going to be front and center. Besides the corruption, besides your wife, besides everything, you can. And Tom nailed it. That dog has so many fleas at him. Once he's on the limelight, every debater, I don't care, bro. Tico could come in there and debate him, and Tico could go down. Every problem with California, America's not that dumb. Because, Adam, at the end of the day, he's not going against Trump. We don't even know who's going to go up. J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio, they will all wipe the floor with him. Because at the end of the day, I understand if it was somebody going against Trump, Kamala, somebody, it's not Trump. People have to understand, in 2028, it ain't Trump. So for the 4 years, you've been Trump. The smoke is going to clear, and guess what? Trump's bye-bye. He's going to be gone, and whoever he's going to put up is going to be the one that's going to win.
And one other thing about him, don't forget, before he was against transgender swimmers competing, he was also for in California, $350,000 per person reparation.
Mm-hmm. He was, yep.
Reparation.
And he'll get up there on the debate stage.
Well, he's now. Look, everybody learned from Mitt Romney's Etch-a-Sketch. Remember that? Yeah. He said, you win the primary, and then it's an Etch-a-Sketch. You shake it up.
Yeah.
So everybody's got that playbook.
Yeah,
but there's that 350 was like, and where are you going to pay for it? So those are his things on the record.
I'm excited about 2028. It's like, in baseball, trade deadlines are coming up in baseball, right?
End of July.
End of July, and Tom gets all excited. Honestly, Tom literally gets excited.
Who's the Republican nominee going?
Yeah, I want to hear this. Write this down.
Who do
I say Rubio.
Me too.
Because the architect of Iran is J.D. Vance.
J.D.
Vance might get thrown under the bus.
Yeah, good label they put on there.
By the way, you have to realize,
and I believe Marco will get Cuba before this term's over.
I think there's a big difference between Marco and JD. And here's the difference. You know what the difference is, Vinny? What do you think between the two?
Between JD and Marco, well, Rubio's been in this game for a minute.
Yep.
JD came out of
Who do
nowhere
you like?
and
Which of the two do you like?
Rubio, absolutely.
You know what I think, Vinny, is the difference?
You know what the difference is? I'm going to jump in, Notre Dame. Rubio believes what he's saying. J.D. Vance called Trump Hitler. Two different people. Two different ways.
Now, did you see him on The View? Right after he was done with The View during the break, he says, Joy said to me, look, we like you for a Republican. They actually like him. So you have to realize, I don't know if they're going to like Rubio, but they do like him, okay? Here's the difference, in my opinion, between JD and Marco. Vinny, how much, I'll ask you guys, Tom, Adam, we're around Vinny all the time. How much effort does Vinny have to put to be funny?
Zero. It's inherent. He's real.
You see how that works?
Yeah.
This is how much effort the guy has to put to be funny, okay? Versus some of us have to make an effort to tell dad jokes. Some of us failed comedians have to say we were comedians and we hire comedians. And some of us try to be funny, but it's a 50-50 hit and miss, right? But this guy never has to try. Yeah. To me, Marco's not trying. Marco's being. I think JD's trying. I think that's the difference.
Yep.
I think JD's going to be the one that he reminds me of a guy I know. He reminds me of a guy that since he was 18 years old, he wanted to be a president. I think you're going to have to beg Marco to run for office. I don't think you have to beg JD to run for office. I think that's the difference. You know what I'm saying for president?
Yeah, but I'll tell you, everybody needs to read a book called The 48 Rules of Power.
48 Laws of Power.
48 Laws of Power.
Robert Greene.
Yes. And look, they all play a different game. And they're all playing a different game. And Marco, I think, is kind of the Paul Ryan game, the reluctant one. I don't care, but I really care.
Yeah.
And so, there's the book. What's it called? The
48 Laws of Power.
48 Laws of Power.
Very good book.
No, listen, that needs to be right behind your Bible right there. But all these guys.
Probably is for a lot of people.
Oh, yeah. But Marco is, I think, playing the best game of 48 Laws of Power, and I think JD's playing the worst game, and I think throwing him into the architect of Iran is like when they threw Kamala in to control the border.
Yeah.
I mean, that was like if you want to kill somebody. So
welcome to the border. 2-drink minimum.
yeah. So who? Oh yeah. So I said Rubio. You said Rubio. Who's the nominee?
Rubio.
Yeah, I don't like to speculate that early, but if I had to put all my money on one horse, it'd be Rubio. I had the pleasure of hanging out with Rubio and Hegseth and a lot lot of the staff at the UFC.
It was great seeing everybody at the UFC fight.
It was
what
great,
a great
Pat.
time talking to everybody.
We had a great time.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Incredible.
I know you were over on the other side. I was on the side with Rubio.
Yeah.
And I said, I did a video. You can see it. I said, I think I'm standing here with the next president of the United States. He goes, you're running for president? I go, yeah.
He's so
Sosnick and Rubio, 2028.
That's right.
He's humble and he's cool. And the most important thing to me, he threw up a 305.
By the way,
He's
you
from
know
Miami.
his son plays football. His son's like a
Son's a
total
stud.
stud. Yeah.
Michael Irvin was sitting right there.
Yeah. Well,
Imagine if we have Mar-a-Lago presidency down to a 305 presidency.
All right, let me get to the next
MIA
story.
305.
Let me get to the next story. Because, every time we do podcasts, Adam's got to give us shout-outs.
we have to.
Yeah, okay, let me get to the next story.
Hold
Here's the
on.
next story I want to get to. Will this be one of the stories that'll be up there? Okay, so Elon Musk, as of right now, is worth around $1.3 to $1.4 trillion as of right now, okay? Numbers came up. It's so funny. I saw a meme that said the richest men in the world, and it had Elon Musk number one. Number two, it had Khamenei because of $300 billion.
With an asterisk. With an asterisk.
With an asterisk
right.
next to it.
Very bummed.
It was so hilarious that he was on there. But
But
Elon Musk is 1.3.
You called it, but can I give you another?
Yeah.
Pastradamus, is that what you call him, Pastradamus?
Yes.
You called the billionaire thing for Elon Musk a year ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
But let me tell you, I also
Trillion.
told, I don't know who, Adam Kins, I don't know who was a guy that responded. I said, there's going to be 2 to 5 more trillionaires. There's going to be 5 more trillionaires the next 2 to 5 years. I think that's going to happen like this in no time. But let's stay on this.
Okay.
He becomes a trillionaire. Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, furious. Okay? How dare you become a trillionaire? Does a person really need that much wealth, right, to become a trillionaire? And they commented on this. And guys, I think we got the clip on both of them. If we play this clip, I want to go to this because on SpaceX, the stock's gone up. It's not slowing down. The valuation hasn't slowed down. Where's SpaceX stock right now, Tom, if you look at
195, down a little bit today, but 195.
195. So, the people that made all the money, the 4,300, 4,400 people that became millionaires, the 33 non-executives that made $200 to $400 million, now that's $300 to $600 million. Here's Elizabeth Warren reacting to it. And then as well as Bernie Sanders, and I want to kind of open it up because there's a cow sheet that came up, which I'll go after this, guys, if you want to find that as well. The cow sheet of whether the wealth tax will be on the ballot in California. It's dropped like from 86% to 34%. Here's Elizabeth Warren. Go for it.
Elon Musk is officially the world's first trillionaire. Think about that. We're living at a time when more and more people are just hanging on by their fingernails to survive in this economy. And Elon Musk has more money and more wealth than anyone in human history. I want to be clear. This is not just some fluke. It is a feature of a rigged economy. Elon Musk is officially...
It's a rigged economy.
Yeah.
So that's her saying a rigged economy. Bernie Sanders comes out and says, Elon Musk's rise to trillionaire status is not a time to celebrate. It's a call to action to take on the unprecedented income and wealth inequality that now exists and the greed and power of a ruling class that is destroying the social fabric of America. Our democracy cannot survive when one man who has contributed $290 million to get Trump elected becomes $700 billion richer since he got elected. Our economy cannot sustain itself when one man owns more wealth than the bottom half of our society, when 60% of our people live paycheck to paycheck, when we have the highest rate of childhood poverty of any major nation, and when our kids have a lower standard of living than their parents. This is not about wealth. It's about power. Musk and his fellow oligarchs want it all. Together, we must fight back. We can and must create an economy and government that works for all of us, not just Elon Musk and his fellow billionaires. So as a billionaire, John, how do you react to this?
In my soon-to-be best-selling book, Life is Luck, I write, it's here.
Yes.
Surprise.
Hey, we have one.
So surprised. I write about Elon Musk Does everybody at this table know about a concept called first principle thinking?
No.
Yes, first principles, yeah.
First principle thinking.
Yeah.
It was originated by Aristotle. And basically what Elon Musk is a first principle thinker. And here's how first principle thinking works. There are assumptions that we've all made for a long, long time. And those assumptions stop us from doing a lot of things because we believe those assumptions to be true. What first principle thinking does, and what Aristotle taught Elon Musk, is you take those assumptions and you deconstruct them. And then you say, let's see how we can do it another way. Most of Elon Musk businesses are based on first principle thinking. Here's how. SpaceX. They said the rockets were too expensive. The rockets cost X. Guess what Elon Musk did? He deconstructed that and he said, what about this? What about if I build my own rockets and instead of being 10X, it's X? That's why it works. That's first principle thinking. With the Tesla cars, it was impossible for a lot of reasons, but mainly batteries. And I think that's why we want Greenland to get minerals to run these batteries. And he said, you know what? And charging stations. So all the big guys said it won't work. Elon Musk, with his first principle thinking, deconstructed all those assumptions and said, you know what? I'm going to do it this way. What are his other first principle thinking? These tubes between cities, Las Vegas and Los Angeles. And then his ultimate first principle thought is life on Mars. The reason Elon Musk deserves it is because with first principle thinking, he took the impossible that the smartest people in the world agreed was impossible and then made it possible. And when you start trying to take away incentives to do big things, you're taking away the concept of the American dream.
So what do you say to Warren and to Bernie and them saying, you know, I cannot believe how much wealth he has. This is not good. We shouldn't see something like this.
I'd say to them, what do you want him to do? Do you want him to stop? Do you want autonomous vehicles or not? Do you want us to be first in space? Do you want us to have colonies to go to? Do you want driverless cars? Look, autonomous vehicles put me out of business in a lot of ways, but guess what? 43,000 people aren't killed a year if he gets his way. So, look, here's the thing that I think is driving most of it. It's a phrase you all have heard many times. Comparison is the thief of joy. And I believe what drives a lot of this is just pure, unadulterated envy. For a guy who, look, the guy's off. He's somewhere on a spectrum we don't know. He stays high half of the day, but he's a genius and he's a first principle thinker. So I think they're off base.
Great teaching. By the way, very, very good teaching. And folks, if you're watching this is why I love talking to John. If you truly want to experience what it is to go become wealthy, have a good family, enjoy yourself. This guy's a lot of fun as well. Go support his book, Life is Luck. Tom, your thoughts on the story with, and by the way, let's put the link below, guys, in the description, in the comment, please, to make sure people can go support it. Tom, your thoughts on the story with Musk becoming a trillionaire and Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren going after him?
I don't understand it because I look at and I'll tell you why I don't understand. I think John's correct about the jealousy and about the envy, because think of the things he's accomplished. Are the Dems not in favor of green energy and solar? And so the guy that has invented these battery packs that go in your house to store energy made at a lower cost, and then Teslas, which do not use internal combustion Starlink. And by the way, he's running a space program based on not by dropping crap into the ocean after you launch a rocket, which is the only way NASA and the Soviets and the French have done it and the Chinese have done it for decades. He's like, no, maybe, wait. What if we just reuse the rocket and I catch it with this large stand with these big metal chopsticks, and I'll keep reusing it rather than dump it in the ocean? So why aren't the Democrats praising all of this list of things which brings a green angle and not more. And by the way, let's not talk about the chemicals that are inside those rockets when they get dropped in the ocean by NASA, Russia, China, everybody else. There's a lot of stuff in there at the bottom of the ocean. And so here he is in many ways green. And wouldn't that play to them? Wouldn't they be praising this because this is the kind of things they want? No, instead it goes the other way. And the other part is they don't have anything else to talk about. I once had a college professor that said, hey, on the essays, write me a one-sentence note if you really don't understand it. Because if you have nothing to say, be brief, and I will credit the fact that you didn't waste my time having to read BS. And so I think they don't have anything to say. What do they have to sell the American people on vision and future on product? No, they have to sell fear. They have to sell you got left out. They have to sell the system is rigged. That's what they have to sell. They can't go off message. And so they have to use this on message. And it's old, it's stale. And to people who are seeing a little bit of light, a little bit of opportunity, you know, I don't think this message is going to play well in the middle.
Adam.
I think it will at the bottom.
Okay, Adam.
I agree with my rich, smart friends to my right of me. Listen, Elon Musk, I think he famously quoted, he said, you get paid in direct proportion to the difficulty of the size of the problems you solve. Has anybody solved bigger problems than Elon Musk? This guy's making autonomous vehicles, chips in your brain that you can think about what you want to do, rockets to space. And what do the Bernie Sanders of the world, the Elizabeth Warrens of the world, they want to hate on this. They don't want innovation. All they want to do, and it's such an attractive message. If you're just talking about first principles, if you just don't know anything and you're like, he's a trillionaire, we should take his money. All they want to do is seize, tax, blame, shift blame. Don't look at all the corruption we're doing. He's a trillionaire. And the average person goes, trillionaire? I'm barely a thousandaire. Barely a millionaire, a billionaire, trillionaire, take his money. What they don't want to focus on is all the benefits that the billionaires have done for society. The funniest things to me is sometimes you'll see like somebody working on their computer with their cell phone, with the Starbucks saying like, socialism rocks. It's like all the products you're using were built by capitalists, but it's cognitive dissonance and they just want to.
Yeah. And one of the reasons I was going to tell you about, that I write in there is this. I spent some time studying lotteries, and you cannot believe the amount of money spent on lotteries in America. It's like an average person spends like $440 a year.
Stop it.
A year. Why? They want to be rich. They're trying to hit the Powerball. There's Gamblers Anonymous because everybody wants out. And when they don't get out, they get mad. And when they get mad, they get jealous. And then they say, if not them, give me a lottery. And then
somebody else's fault.
And then the interesting part that I write about lotteries in that book is once they get the money, you ought to follow the lives of lottery winners after.
Horrible.
I mean, they all fuck it up.
It's all gone in 5 years.
They all fuck it up.
Right.
By the way, the best part about this book, the picture is the one on the back. Can you zoom in?
Oh, my family.
This is the best part about the picture.
Yeah.
Okay?
It's my crowd.
Look how awesome this is. The whole family on the back. Nothing matters more than this. I wish this wasn't a front, but life is. So let me tell you what direction I go with this. So for me, do you know what percentage of R&D, okay, does the private sector spend every year now, private to the government? What percentage R&D of the total money spent is private versus the federal government?
I'd say 90% is private.
80-20
Wow.
is private. Now, here's the tricky part. Do you know when it was equal? 1980. In 1980, it was the same. So whatever private sector spent on
R&D,
research and development, was the same as the federal government would.
Yeah.
By 2020, the private sector was beating them 3.6 times the amount. Okay,
lapped them.
So then you go and see the patents, the number of inventions that come out. Okay, patent ownership. U.S. businesses receive 85 to 86% of USPTO utility patents assigned to domestic owners. The government sector, less than 1%. government-funded patents, which is what a lot of people will say, well, you know what, SpaceX, the government kind of supported it, and they were involved, et cetera, et cetera. Only 2% of U.S. patents are publicly funded but privately owned, yet they account for 20% of medium-term fluctuations in productivity and GDP growth. When you continue with the patents, patent volume by sector, businesses, 85% of patents. Individuals, 9%. Vinny, watch this. Out of all the patents they submit, 85% businesses, 9% individuals, 4% academia, which is what? Universities, I'm working for Yale. 1% is the U.S. government. So guess who is creating? So what do you want to do, Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders? You guys going to invent the next big thing? Seriously?
And you know where some of our greatest inventions came from?
Where's that?
NASA. Some of the greatest inventions. And
you know who stopped funding for NASA?
Yeah, and guess who the new NASA is?
Elon Musk.
Right.
But by the way, do you know who stopped funding for NASA? Can you pull up on ChatGPT who was the main guy that stopped funding money for NASA? If I'm not mistaken, this was around the Obama era where Obama said there's not a lot of benefit for us investing money into NASA. Fact check me on this story. If I'm not mistaken, it was about 15 years ago, 2012, 2013, 2014, when they were kind of getting away from it. Am I correct? I could be wrong.
You are right. In 2011, the Obama administration requested to completely cancel the NASA Constellation program. Was a $9 billion effort to return astronauts to the moon to look for minerals.
It's not worth us doing it.
You're encyclopedic.
Yeah, it's not worth. Well,
I can't believe you're
Nostradamus.
We talk to each other so much. We make ourselves smarter. But when you think about that, so one guy's like, forget about seeing what's out there. The other guy's like, look, if you're not going to do it, I'm going to do it. That's blue ocean strategy. I see an opportunity, I go with it. So I hope kids see this. The world's a better place if 1 million kids watch and saying, I want to be the next Elon Musk, and you fail miserably and you just become a billionaire, okay? And you don't become a trillionaire. Because somebody is sitting out there. I'm having this conversation. Who am I talking to this weekend that's also, okay, yeah, we're on a flight with a very well-known lawyer, and we're going out there, and the conversation came about a few different. This guy represents everybody. I don't want to say anything. I don't want anything to come out on what this conversation was about. And he says, Elon Musk, issues with father. Jeff Bezos, adopted. Steve Jobs, adopted by an Armenian lady that adopted Steve Jobs, by the way. I don't know if you know this or not.
I remember.
All of these pains that they went through, and then they eventually become what? Imagine all that pain you must go through as a kid to be able to handle building such big things, and behind closed doors. Vinny, like, you know what's the hardest part about doing something big that some of these guys are doing? Being able to handle the constant scrutiny. So imagine how many people quit on Elon Musk that they were working hard for him. Imagine he's like, no, guys, we got to work hard. We're going to go. This guy's out of his freaking mind. So imagine the first Falcon fails. The second one fails. The third one fails. The fourth one fails. Imagine you're in front of your staff. And you just lost 200 of your employees. And they're all talking shit to convince the other 400 to quit, the other 800 to quit. And they're saying, dude, this guy's not going to be able to pull this off. If the U.S. government stopped funding NASA, why do you think that is? They know something he doesn't know. You're banking on a guy more than you're banking on NASA, and the guys that stuck around, guess what they said? Yes, we are.
Rich.
We're doing that.
Yep.
That's exactly what we're doing. And then their lives change.
Yep.
By the way, there's an old TED Talks video where the guy gets up. Have you guys ever seen this guy when the first guy starts dancing? Humberto, I know for a fact, or as a guy that knows all the videos on YouTube, I know for a fact you know that video. It's a video of a guy that's at a park,
out in the
and
field.
He starts dancing in the field, and he's dancing by himself. And you know the types of people that don't know how to dance, and they're just kind of dancing like this, and he's doing one of these things, and then all of a sudden,
everybody started.
And then all of a sudden, one guy joins him. And the one guy that joins him, I was like, who the hell is going to dance with that guy? And one guy just starts going out there and starts doing
We're all going to dance with you, Tom.
And then within 2 minutes, there's 100 people that are, this is it. This is like the famous clip that went viral 20 years ago. Go ahead, watch this. Sometimes this is you, entrepreneurs. Look at that guy. I don't know if we would qualify that guy as a professional dancer. Can you lower the audio a little bit so we don't get flagged for the music? Yeah. He's just doing his thing. 99% of people watching this guy are saying this guy's high, drunk, or crazy, or going to a mental hospital. But the first guy joins him.
There we go.
And this guy also doesn't have a clue what he's doing. Maybe he's got a little bit better
Let's go, brother. Let's do this
dancing. He's the first believer. I believe in this crazy guy. I believe in him.
Do your hands like this.
You can fast forward 30 seconds.
Bring in the home team.
Fast forward 30 seconds. Watch what happens. Keep going. Still nobody. Look at this.
Now here
Then
comes
We
one
got
guy
a third
shows up.
person.
Look at
Yeah,
that.
look at
He's
guy.
rolling.
Now you
4,
got a few.
5,
Now you got a
6,
crowd.
10.
Yeah, but you know what?
20.
Look, here she comes.
You know
Here
what
she
the
goes.
biggest part about this is, John? I'm going to come to you. You know what's the biggest part about this? How long can you go by yourself before that first true believer shows up?
Yeah,
Man, it
that's
is
so
the
cool,
hardest
man.
thing to do in life. John, final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Number one, that clip reminded me when I was a little boy, I'd go to my uncle's farm and we were picking tobacco, and I'd see these cows in a field, and I'd see one cow start to trot up the top of the hill, the bull. And then another cow would barely trot up to the hill. And then all of a sudden they kind of started picking up speed. And before it, they would all run to the top of the field. And then to get to the top of the field and they look around and they go, what the fuck are we running for? What are we doing up here? We have no fucking idea. We just he started running. And,
I don't know what I'm doing.
and so at the end of the day, a lot of us are cows. Last thing about the book, I write a chapter about this is Elon Musk. To find luck, the best luck, if you have the balls to make failure your friend, those lessons in failure is what separates Elon Musk from the rest of us. Fail, learn, fail, learn, fail, learn, fail, trillionaire.
That's right.
Yeah, so cool.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I mean,
Crazy.
so I mean, think about the failures that he's had and the people who walked away from him not believing.
the
And so
best stories.
that's what I would tell Elizabeth Warren.
And mind you, Elizabeth Warren and the Bernie Sanders, it's always, by the way, and I think it's all political, obviously. These are the same people that are probably making that tweet from a private jet and going to one of his $3 million homes where he's like, no, he's trying to BS. And mind you, it's all, and Adam said this a while ago, and he said it multiple times, this is the future, John, of the Democratic Party. It's, hey, the rich, it's the socialism, it's the communism, it's the rich are too rich, let's take it all, let's give it to us. Meanwhile, they're the rich ones.
Vinny, you know how important it is that the guy got this deal done? Let me tell you why. Because oil is what? $76.
Yep.
If we can pull up to see what oil is right now, I don't know, whatever the numbers, guys in the back, if you guys can pull that up to see where it's at. So oil drops to 76. How long will it take for us to see the reflection at the gas station? I don't know. 1 week, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks. You're going to see it, right? It's going to take a minute to get it.
Well, the dealers will gouge for a while.
The dealers will gouge for a while, but just like
like a hurricane.
But just like capitalism, typically if you ever see a gas station, there's another gas station across the street.
Yeah.
All I have to do is 10 cents lower. I'm going to be like, hey, I'm making money. Prices are coming down.
I used to own Shell gas stations, and when there's a hurricane, you see these people out by the airport. They did not lower there, so the people need to watch for the gougers. They're going to be saying, "Oh, this is still a problem."
But I think the gougers are going to lose customers.
The gougers, what the customers need to do is look at those numbers on the gas, because by law you got to post.
John, I'm convinced you're Armenian. I don't think you're American. I think there's an Armenian.
I'm Morganian.
He's for sure Armenian.
I think Jewish because I've always thought I was somehow Jewish. And one day, years ago, I'm asleep, taking a nap, and my daughter shakes me and says, "Daddy, wake up." I said, "Why?" She said, "You're Jewish." I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "I'm on Ancestry.com. Your great-great-great-grandfather, his name was Saul Morgan."
Uh-oh.
Wow.
I go, "I'm a Jew."
Well, welcome to the tribe, my friend. Welcome to the tribe. We love having you.
I thought you were going to
like
Saul Rosenberg.
Well, I think it was Saul Morgenstein. I think it was Saul Morgenstein when they first came over.
I got it.
That's why you're such a good storyteller.
Yes.
Storyteller genius.
But you know what is crazy as we're talking about all this stuff? The Kalshi, whether the billionaire wealth tax will be on or not, look what happened to it all of a sudden within 2 days. Did you guys see this?
Oh,
Can you zoom in a little bit? It just dropped from
40 to 60.
There's another
40 to
one.
20.
There's another one that's out there. I think you have another one. There's another one that's a bigger number than 458. But you can see this one. It dropped dramatically in a big way. So we'll see what happened there. Let me get to the next story. Next story I want to get to is New York Times has a story last week because of a book that's coming out called Regime Change or something like that by these two New York Times writers, which, by the way, again, a lot of people who put a lot of credibility behind these writers, you have to also know that some of the work they did back in the days, people were giving them criticism, saying that these guys were also behind the Russia collusion. So having said that, last week's story went viral. This is part 2 of the story of New York Times, which, by the way, if there is a publication that you would never guess would write an article that would automatically show that the president had nothing to do with Epstein, you tell me what newspaper you think would be number one on that list, Vinny. New York Times.
Oh, yeah.
Do you? Is there? Any, would it be New York Post? No. Would it be any?
The most
New
liberal
York
paper
Times
out
would be
there,
number
New York
one.
Times,
So then this
by
article
far.
comes out, the untold story of Jeffrey Epstein's death. So now you go through it. This is part two. Part one was J.D. Vance, Tucker Carlson, The Conversation, Dan Bongino. They told about Susie Wiles. That's what it was. Part two is more about what happened to Epstein. So in this Epstein story that they're going through, they talk about how Bannon and him are communicating. Epstein appeared shocked. He managed to send one last message to Bannon saying, all canceled. Bannon wrote back immediately, you are not coming in, ? There was no reply. The FBI agent drove Epstein to Manhattan. He has two questions. Is this sex trafficking? Is this about underage? It was. Oh, this is bad, he said aloud when he was getting booked for federal custody. This is really bad. He's whispering to himself, and other FBI agents can hear him while he's talking to himself. And the story continues. On one part here, on page 8, it says, we went to court to win access to a document that had been described as a suicide note written by Epstein in jail before an earlier apparent attempt to take his own life, which was hidden from public and investigators for a year. So apparently this guy tried to kill himself multiple times. We obtained about a dozen pages of other notes, handwritten notes by Epstein in jail that were also previously unseen, including some in which he tried and failed to come up with significant information he might have on Donald Trump to offer to prosecutors, and he couldn't find anything. When he continues, in addition to this, we were told by a former cellmate, Epstein had more than once previously reported attempt to craft a noose. Epstein's death and whose account circumstantially supported the conclusion that Epstein died by hanging himself. Even his friends knew that were in prison with him. And then they talk about what happened with the surveillance camera being down. The 24-hour surveillance camera, the unit known as 10 South, had held some of the most violent people ever. We're talking El Chapo, we're talking mafia hitmen, we're talking terrorists tied to Al-Qaeda, Bernie Madoff during his own pre-trial detention a decade earlier. So this is not like a place that we knew about this already, but there was multiple news. His roommate, Tartaglione, a 51-year-old police officer, was waiting trial on federal charge of killing 4 men, and one of which he killed by strangling with a zip tie. So he knew how to create a noose. So he had the right roommate that wanted to teach him how to do that. He told us that Epstein returned to their cell from the court that day. He asked abruptly, how do you make a noose? He asks his roommate. In the days that followed, Tartaglione said he caught Epstein preparing for suicide twice. Once, Tartaglione said, he noticed Epstein try to tie a sheet to the gate over the cell window. Another time he woke to Epstein standing in the dark looking a little suspicious and discovered a noose hidden under his mattress. That's what his roommate found. And it continues. This is big. They listed as he seeded about the former friends who were now publicly distancing themselves from him, like Leslie Wexner, who gave him that $77 million property, biggest private residence in Manhattan for gift, 0, and try to figure out whether he had any leverage to use against former associates like Bill Gates. Once they heard him mutter, I can't do this. Epstein was particularly preoccupied with that he might have on Donald Trump, who was then serving his first term in office. Jotting on a legal pad, he returned to the president again and again, trying to dredge up anything to offer prosecutors. But his scribble said, Trump is a total con artist, smoke and mirror, and never had money. That's all he could find. Nothing to do with him. Nothing to do with him. Let me see what page this is. With girls. So then this continues. These stories keep going and going and going. I can't take jail. Put me on house arrest. I'm either going to hurt myself or someone else is going to hurt me. Get me out of here. Epstein told one of his lawyers, and Tartaglione heard that. Then there's a couple other guys named Reyes in prison with him, Efren Reyes. The guard were on eggshells around Epstein. Reyes noticed he was always making demands. Can you imagine? Epstein was telling the guards what to get him, and then he would say if they did not comply, he would make a show of writing their names down, telling them that he would talk to his lawyers. The people were afraid of him because the lawyers...
you don't want to get me some
That's
ketchup?
right.
Gotcha.
Epstein said to him, to this one guy named Robert Adams that was decent to him, says, thank you for treating me with dignity and humanity. This is Robert Adams, who was treating him respectfully. And then once they saw him examining a computer cable, Epstein, noticing their attention, reassured them that he was too much of a coward to kill himself. Mostly faithfully, he made an unusual request. He told them he wanted to update his will. And then Reyes told them, don't try to kill yourself in this cell. I don't want to wake up and find you dead. Anyways, you go through these stories that is out there. One of them was nearly half of the system cameras that were there while working real time were not recording. So no funding, no staff. The cameras are not recording. As a result, 2 of the cameras in the SHU were recording in the hours before Epstein's body was discovered. And if you remember that one of the workers there got $5,000 deposit in his bank account a couple weeks prior to that.
Yeah.
Just so you know, there's no connections to it. They found that there was 0 connections between the two. Noel activated an alarm. Thomas heaved Epstein to the floor, administered chest compressions. Breathe, Epstein, breathe. Noel recalled him shouting, and then we're going to be in so much trouble, one of the guards said, that we're going to be in trouble. So they knew something was going to happen here. The effing MCC has one effing job to keep our defendants safe, and they can't even get that right with their famous inmate. So anyways, that goes on. Y'all murdered him. Y'all murdered him. While these guys are walking by, the guards, all the inmates, and saying, y'all murdered Epstein. Y'all murdered Epstein. So this got nastier and nastier. And obviously, the roommate, Reyes, didn't make it. He died of COVID in 2020. This was so New York Times couldn't get to him. But the main premise of this story, and respect to New York Times, they went right to it. You know what it was? The entire time, the guy, Epstein, who knows everything of who was involved and who wasn't involved, tried to do everything in his power to destroy Trump, found nothing. Which, you know what this New York Times article shows? That Trump had nothing to do with Epstein.
Yep.
There is not a better article for the president than this year. So June 14th is his birthday. So in other words, New York Times birthday present to Donald Trump is this article here.
Yeah. It's a love letter to Trump.
That's the gift to the president to say, hey, as much as we hate writing this, he had nothing to do with it. All the other stories, it is what it is. But I'll come to you, John, because you're from President Clinton, got accused of being on the island, doing all that other stuff. How do you process this story, this article?
Well, I think it was written by Maggie Haberman.
It was. You're right. It was.
She has been his, nemesis for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
starting with Russia collusion.
Starting with Russia,
Yeah.
and she's smart. She's very smart. But here's what I take from it all. Howard Lutnick said Epstein was a blackmailer. That's what Epstein did. He blackmailed. Why was Leslie Wexner paying him $77 million? What did Leslie Wexner do allegedly to pay this guy who has no expertise at all? He was trying to shake down Bill Gates. I mean, this guy was a blackmailer. That's how he got rich. He got shit on people, got the film. If you're facing what he's facing and you're a blackmailer and your one get out of jail card is Donald Trump, you're getting out of jail. You're going to go ahead and say it if you have it. I mean, the people in the mafia flip, and they're like, that's a rare thing. But he didn't flip. And I think he didn't flip because he didn't have the goods. Now, what do I believe? I believe that Trump's got friends that are tied into all of this. I mean, if Bill Gates is being, shook down, who else could be shook down? And the thing about Trump is this. Trump demands loyalty. I mean, if you're not 100%, you're 0%. But he also returns that loyalty. And so I think that there are people that he knows that are in those files, and he don't want to hurt them. But it got away from him. The whole narrative just got away from him.
Vinny, for us, we cover this a lot, right? Yeah. There was a little bit of skepticism with everybody at this table with Epstein when the story was coming out. How do you, as somebody that followed this very close, you watch all the documentaries, you watch everything, how are you processing this story here?
I think it's which we've known, it's vindication that as much as everybody on the left and even some people on the right, and we know who they are, they were like, no, he was with underage girl, and it's all been nonsense. And I saw them on the View pad with J.D. Vance, and they're like, no, what's her name? Navarro was like, no, he was best friends with Epstein. No, Donald Trump is a billionaire in New York, hanging out with everybody, knew everybody, literally everybody hung out. The moment he found out that this guy was a creep, what did he do? He excommunicated him and he got him out of his, was it Mar-a-Lago? Was he?
Yes, Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah, he kicked him out, okay? My problem is.
I'm 08-ish. I don't know the exact time. Can you pull up when
they were trying to recruit girls
08,
from before 09. He went to jail in 09.
So 08 is what it was.
So 08. The one thing that bothers me, and John, that's one big thing that I have a problem with. I don't think the president was doing anything with underage girls or any of that nonsense. What bothers me is the friendship part, because my biggest problem is, as a Christian, anything that has to do with children, to me, is off limits. I don't care who you're trying to protect. I don't care what the hell. And Adam, we've had this talk before about, you want the whole system to fall down if there's children. Yes, because I don't think God is sitting there going, yeah, they need to negotiate. Yeah, that girl was raped. Yeah, that little kid was probably raped and then murdered because they don't want any witnesses. I have a big problem with that part of it. And to add to it, when you have a Pam Bondi who came in after Alex Acosta as Attorney General in Florida, she becomes the main person, the number one law enforcement officer in the country. That's not by accident. And she ruined the whole thing. She bungled this whole Epstein thing on purpose. When you had those freaking influencers coming out like, yeah, we did it, as if we weren't.
I don't think on purpose.
No, I don't think so either, John.
She didn't do it on purpose.
She didn't do anything on purpose.
I don't know. John has a relationship with Bondi. One of John's lawyers was a lawyer that she was in love with back in the days. I think you kind of talked about that last time.
And he named her the Paminator when we would always go out drinking with the Paminator.
So here's my question though, and then she's caught on the camera in a restaurant saying, we have tens of thousands of videos of these underage kids, Epstein and the whole crew. And my thing is, why would the government, and I don't put this on Trump, I put this on all these people that work in the government, why are you covering up? Why are you editing 30-second videos? Why are you doing it? I know Trump didn't run on the Epstein files, but now that we're here, the lie to us is, hey, we can't release this because of the victims. No. You can redact because they love redacting. Take the names of these girls or these young boys, whoever that they were doing, out. And I want to know the Wesley, the Wexner, all the Bill Gates. Give us the names of these people so justice can be done. Okay? Period. That's it. I want justice to be done because these kids.
But you like how Blanche is handling things versus how Bondi was doing.
Oh yeah,
but Bondi is saying now that Blanche was handling it all along. If you read her testimony, when she was brought in to testify a few weeks ago, she said, look, Blanche was handling Epstein, not me.
John, it sounds like you're defending her a little bit.
I'm not defending her. I'm stating facts. She is saying that she did not handle the Epstein matter.
True. Did you read the first New York Times story that's about Bondi or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So the first one puts a lot of the onus on Bondi and a lot of the friction where Bongino said, if you don't fire her, I'm out of here. And he left, and they had to kind of $100,000.
Screaming at each other.
Right. They were screaming at each other. So a part of it is Bondi's the one that came out and said, there's a lot of bad things on those tapes. There's a lot of bad things on this. So she kind of said a little bit too much.
And then Susie Wiles got pissed off about that.
Right.
I mean, you remember that?
Right. I do. So, who knows what happened here? Of course, these things that are coming out.
Pam was not ready for prime time on this issue. I mean, just was not ready. I don't think there's anything malicious, I'll say that, in defense of her. But I don't think she was ready for this moment.
But it almost feels, though, does it almost feel like, out of all people, nobody here, did anybody ever hear of Pam Bondi before she became?
Yeah,
yes,
of course.
Pam Bondi is very powerful in Florida.
Pam Bondi,
very well known.
And the first,
by the way, loved and respected.
And by the way,
feared.
and how did they? And she also had the Trump stakes or the Trump college case, and she dismissed that and he paid a very small fine. So they made friends early on, and she was very loyal to him.
But loyal, but to become the #1 law enforcement officer in the United States, and it was very clear.
Only after Matt Gaetz.
Yeah.
Don't forget him. He thought he was going to be the attorney general.
I have a different opinion as most people. I'll sum up my viewpoint as quick as possible. You know the story regarding Epstein? You know when someone catches a fish and the fish was this big? And then every time you tell the story, no, the fish was this big. No, the fish was this big. It was the biggest fish I've ever seen. That's what I think happened on the Epstein story. And the fish got bigger and bigger and bigger, and then he died. And then the fish became the biggest fish we've ever seen in the history of the world. And Jeffrey Epstein was the devil. Here's what I think. Jeffrey Epstein was a world-class creep and blackmailer. I don't know what he was doing. I don't know who he was working for. Neither do you. But the story got bigger and bigger and bigger. And then a movie came out, and then a docuseries came out, and everyone had their opinion on this. And entitled to do so, because the weird sex underage thing on the island, total creep. Here's the part that people don't really want to talk about, though, if you really want to be honest. In any high level of society, I'm talking the who's who, the what's, who are the people that make that society? It's men. And no matter who you are in life, the richest, most powerful elite men, do you know what they actually like at the end of the day? Hanging out, have a good time with their buddies, and having beautiful women around. And Jeffrey Epstein knew this. And he knew, if I can bring a lot of women around to all these rich elite men who, let's face it, Bill Gates, a lot of weird creeps that are not good around women, presidents of countries, prime ministers that can't be seen in public, they go to this island. It's a safe space. I think most of these people just liked having a good time and pretty women. What Epstein liked was underage girls. And I know there's a lot of weird stories, but for the most part, they were 16-year-old girls and $200 massages. And it's weird and it's creepy. And whatever he gets, he deserved. Allegedly, he was studying how to commit suicide because he knew he was a creep. Bottom line is this. I live in Miami. I've been in the hospitality and nightlife world my whole life. Do you know how many 19-year-old girls apply for jobs at clubs? And the club owner has to go, yeah, I mean, I can't have you serving alcohol. You're not 21. Oh, no, I'll be 21 soon. How many women who are 18, 19, 20 that try to get into 21 plus clubs? The reality is we don't want to address the fact that women in many capacities are a currency. And I don't believe in treating women that way. Hear me out.
Yeah.
Epstein did that to women, and some women volunteered to be, part of the show. So it's a double-edged sword. He was a total creep, but he wasn't the devil. And men like women. That's it.
But who was not the devil?
Jeffrey Epstein.
He was the devil.
But like the literal devil?
Well, he was a devil.
He
was
a demon.
Well, you've never seen
but
the
not
interview?
a devil.
You ever seen the interview?
And by the way,
that?
You ever seen the interview?
When they asked him, are you the devil?
With a bear.
Have you seen the reaction?
Yeah, of course.
Bannon asked him the question.
Yes.
Have you ever seen anybody react that way to a question that's simple?
And then he ends
You know what it reminded me of?
Yeah.
You ever seen the movie Fallen?
Yes.
Fallen with Denzel Washington.
Yep.
Time is on my side.
Yeah.
And he goes like this, and he's just moving, and he's talking to him, the spirit. This is it. I just want you to see the body language when he's asked, are you the devil?
Yeah.
Watch this. Go ahead.
My case.
Is your money dirty money?
If you live, it might.
Yes, it is. Is your money dirty money?
No, it's not. So, in fact,
why is it not dirty money?
Because I earned it.
How?
But you earned it.
I earned it legally.
We went back to this before. You earned
Yes.
it. You earned it advising the worst people in the world, right? That do enormous bad things.
Is that Steve Bannon?
And just to make more money.
So, instead of asking me the question, should you take the money? Because I think it's a legitimate question.
You think it's a legitimate question?
Yes, no
Why?
question. Because I think ethics is always a complicated subject, but I can tell you that with the money I gave to help try to eradicate polio in Pakistan and India.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of
Fast
asking
forward
me,
20
I think it's towards the end. I think it's towards the end, guys.
polio.
I think it's towards because
If
he
we
gets up
walked in,
after.
if we told them that
keep
the
going.
worst,
He does. He gets up.
Yeah, I think it's towards
understand
the
you
end.
don't like probabilities. Do you?
For my children.
Did they know where the money came from?
The devil himself said, I think if you told him, if I told him the devil,
100%.
the devil
himself.
The devil himself said, I'm going to exchange some dollars for your child's life.
Do you think you're the devil himself?
No, but I do have a good mirror.
It's a serious question.
I'm sorry.
Do you think you're the devil himself?
I don't know. Why would you say that?
Starts itching.
And then he finishes the meetings right afterwards.
So how do you interpret that? Hold on. How do you interpret that?
Have you ever seen somebody answer a question like that?
I think he knows that he's done a lot.
Do you know what George Soros said in an LA Times interview in 2004? I think it's the 2004 article. Could have been in 98. Can you type in George Soros LA Times godlike? Okay, where he says I I fancy myself as a god. And he says, and I used to think of that, but now I actually understand what it is to be like that. Who answers a question like that? These are very weird people that answer.
People with God complexes.
What year is this
or
article,
devil
by the way?
complexes.
What year is this article that was written? The God who
2004?
carries 2004. Yeah, 04 article. So you just got to know there are some people like this that are comfortable.
John Lennon said he was bigger than Jesus Christ. He might have been.
And can I just say one
At
thing?
the time.
And
But-
Adam,
but-
this has been.
But are we literally arguing that he is the devil?
No,
is that,
You're
is that what we're
arguing
doing?
he's the
Okay.
devil. Remember a couple
Devil-like,
weeks ago,
devil-like.
Adam,
Yeah, I
Vinny
agree.
said something about these demons.
Yes.
I said, these are not demons. But let me tell you, if he called Epstein a demon, I would agree with him.
Yeah,
There's
I
zero
have
hesitation.
no-
yeah.
Whatever label we want to put on really bad people.
What
I'm
I think
comfortable with.
people would be very surprised about are the number of real life pedophiles in this world.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
just programmed that way. People go to fish in Costa Rica and they're fishing for something else.
Yeah.
People go to Asia, to Thailand,
Yeah.
Bangkok, Vietnam to do what? There is so much of that out there. Argentina to bird hunt. No. It is way bigger, the appetite for younger people than you could ever imagine in this world. I mean, there are just a lot of sick fucks.
Yeah.
We saw the Sound of Freedom. We get it. I mean, I fully agree with you.
And
that's
the
why I
richer
think-
and the rich people
That's
have
what
they have the ways to go.
That's what it is. It's the rich people that have the means to make it not happen. Adam,
Yeah.
I
But
love you to death,
but it's
you have
not
been,
just the rich
Can I
people.
finish?
No, it's not just the rich, but they have the easiest way to go
with
to
anything,
No,
right?
with anything.
But
yes.
here's- but here's the-
Gonna go bird hunting in Costa Rica.
But-
Gonna
There's a
go.
lot of
I
weird,
asked one
freaky
guy.
people
One
out
time
there.
I said a guy. He was down there. They were raising a lot of hell, and he you know what he said? He goes. I said, What do you show your wife? Do you show her picture? She says, yeah, we show them. We show ourselves out fishing. What we do is the first day there, we take about 5 pictures with different shirts on the boat. So this is day 1, this is day 2, this is day 3, and then they go fishing for real.
Yeah.
And this is the thing, Adam, and I love you to death. Since the beginning of this, you've downplayed this to just Epstein was a creep. And that's it. Like, he was just a creep. He did creepy thing. You couldn't be more wrong.
I downplayed him.
No. Yes, you have. Yes, let me finish. I'll
Okay.
let you talk for freaking 5 minutes.
Go ahead.
You've downplayed Jeffrey Epstein's situation from day one because it's like a whatever story, and you said, people are going to forget about it. It's not just a creep like he's on to catch a predator and they caught him. And this is a freaking, Adam, the web that he created and who he worked for. When Alex Acosta said that when they tried to try him, he worked for intelligence. Could be CIA, MI6, Mossad, probably all together, Adam. You don't invite people to this island, all these rich, powerful people. You don't put cameras in every crevice to get all of them so you have dirt on them. And what bothers me, Adam, when it's people like leaders or billionaires like Bill Gates or Ehud Barak, where these people are shaping the world with their decisions and you have dirt on them, you change the future of the world. And it's not just, okay, he was a creep and he was hooking up. He was taking advantage of these girls. He had Ghislaine Maxwell, whose father worked for who was a huge Mossad agent. All these MI6, all the CIA, everybody working together to have dirt on people. I think it was it was mountains bigger than just a creep that just like to hook up with underage girls. I don't like the downplaying of it because it's so big, Adam. This is the JFK moment of our situation. We're not going to know anything for years because these powerful people that Mr. Morgan was talking about are so powerful, Adam, that everything would fail because these disgusting demons that I call them, and Packet cosign, these people are okay with, Adam, hooking up with underage girls and having sex with, and Adam,
Sure.
Tom, which Bible verse is it? Hold on. Matthew chapter 18, verse 6. Adam, and this is where Vincent Oshana, and I know me and Pat had this conversation. I pray for these people. I pray for their souls, Adam, because guess what? Hell is hot. And unless they come and have that Christ moment in their heart, Adam, that's another conversation we get into. In their heart, it is over for them because it's
one more story before we wrap up.
because it's not justice is not going to be happening here, but it will in the afterlife.
One more story before we wrap up.
I'll just respond real quick.
Adam, if it's more than 10 seconds, I will cut you off.
There's people that downplay Epstein, but there's people that upplay Epstein. and a lot of people have a simplistic version of life that say Epstein, Jewish, Gaza, genocide, kill the Jews.
No.
There's a lot of people.
Okay.
So there's as much as you want to say people are downplaying it, people want to upplay Epstein as if he's the devil.
Listen, you said this is not even a top 20 issue for you. This is not a top 10 issue for you. You've said that before in the podcast. Very simple.
I agree.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
Guess
but
what?
that doesn't mean I don't have an opinion on it.
No, of course. But now it is a big issue that New York Times writes about it a couple times. And the president is vindicated, but it doesn't mean some people that were on the list like this did end up looking good for Lutnick, a couple other people. And
it looks
Pam
great
Bondi,
for Trump, though, right?
It looks very good for Trump.
Why did Lutnick say he was never on the island? Why would he have said that?
That's a mistake.
I mean, but that's a big mistake.
It's a big mistake. Yeah.
It's always the lie.
It's a big mistake. All you have to say is you were, here's what happened.
Right.
Yeah. So let me get to the next story. I want to do a couple stories. And
yes, sir.
John, I'll let you choose whichever one of these stories you want to do. I got Chick-fil-A Jersey Mike's or I got Gladiator 2. Which one do you want to go to?
Jersey Mike.
Okay, let's go to that one. So let me read that story too.
By the way, let's order Jersey Mike's for lunch, guys. Let's go, John Morgan.
So let me go through. Thank you for that, Adam. So let me go through the story. Fast food giant dethroned as customer study crowns America's new favorite restaurant chain. And this article is written by, you know who? Fox News.
Uh-oh.
So it's not like it's written by anybody else. And so America's fast food chain has been knocked from the top spot and closely watched customer satisfaction ranking is Chick-fil-A, which topped the annual American Customer Service Index in 2025, fell to second place. Jersey Mike's officially claims first place with an ACSI score of 84 out of 100, edging out Chick-fil-A by, you know what? 83 by 1 point. Wow. Hello, Jersey Mike, with that original sandwich that they make. The shift marks the first time in over a decade that a new chain has led the ACSI quick service restaurant category. They described Jersey Mike as a new leader among QSR, adding that it was the first time in more than a decade that a new chain led the quick service category. The reported credit Jersey Mike with maintaining high customer satisfaction while rapidly expanding its restaurant footprint. Jersey Mike ACSI success consistent with their business performance, including rapid unit growth, strong customer demand, and a model design around throughput and off-premise convenience from a high digital pickup usage. Jersey Mike, founded in Point Pleasant, Jersey in 1956, has more than 4,000 locations across the U.S. John, your thoughts on the story?
First thing I will tell you about Jersey Mike's is my wife, Ultima, is Jersey Mike's all the way. She loves Jersey Mike's.
That's cool.
You know what I've been fascinated with? We'll gear into a little bit into money. The new billionaires in this country own a bunch of sub shops. And you know how they do it? Scaling. Jersey Mike's guy is a billionaire. The guy that did Subway, DeLuca's a billionaire. The firehouse firemen from Jacksonville are billionaires. Jimmy John's is, and then you flip over to the chicken people. Raising Cane's is a billionaire. It has been fascinating to me the wealth that's been made from chicken tenders and subs, and you never would have thought it. And it's all about scaling. Chick-fil-A is the gold standard. I told people back during the COVID, if we want to get everybody vaccinated in a week, let's just let Chick-fil-A get it done, and we would all have been vaccinated in 7 days. COVID would have been ended in about 6 months early. So the next time, if I'm Bobby Kennedy and we have a plague, turn it over to Chick-fil-A because they'll get that shit done.
By the way, who here are you, Chick-fil-A or Jersey Mike? Can you run a poll real quick to see where people are at? It's which team you are. That's all I care about. Team Jersey Mike or Team Chick-fil-A. I'm actually curious how the audience will react to it. Where are you at?
I'm a Jersey Mike guy. I do absolutely love, though, the Chick-fil-A customer service, whoever their management, leadership.
Right.
Everybody in there is freaking happy. Everybody is freaking having a good time, and everybody's really nice. And I don't have anything bad about Jersey Mike's, but
well, the thing about Chick-fil-A, number one, most franchisees only can have one store.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I got a friend, Billy Fender, has got 2 in Tennessee, but they make you have one. They make that be your life. For me, the downside to Chick-fil-A is the waffle fries. So if I'm going to go to Chick-fil-A, I'm going to have to go to get my chicken sandwich, and then I'm going to drive down the street and get my French fries from McDonald's.
I got you.
Because I mean the waffle fries. Now some people, are you a waffle fry guy?
Not. I'm going to be honest with you, John. No, I'm not.
I'm not.
I don't want to lie to you, John. You know who I am?
I am
John?
not a
I'm a
waffle fry
McDonald's.
guy.
Go inside and I say, hey, listen, because my blood pressure, can you make me fries without the salt? They'll make you a brand new batch without question. That's a good idea. But John, why don't they open up like a combination restaurant where it's like Chick-fil-A with the McDonald's fries sold in the same place? I mean, what are we talking?
You know how we could really make some money?
Let's do it.
Let's have Publix sell us their sub stuff, and let's go open up Publix subs, because the best subs.
Oh yeah.
There's a line.
Publix subs, you can't get in.
1 million.
There's a line in there.
Yeah.
I'm with it.
Jersey Mike, Chick-fil-A.
I'm a Jersey Mike guy. I love the story of the little sub shop that went big. I love that. I've never had a situation where I felt like, well, I won't go there because it's going to be too busy, because it's speed. Now, you never go into a restaurant where it's not busy, because then you want to look at the letter that's stuck to the front window, see if maybe it's a C, and be like, whoops, maybe I shouldn't eat there. No, they're always quick. It's always efficient, and I really appreciate it, and it's like, and you're going to say something here. I'll order my subs topless. Correct.
So what?
I want half the bread. I'll say no top on the bread.
Wow. Tom is getting dirty on that.
Tom getting naked.
Where they cut the top off the bread, so they do it, and then they put the lettuce on top and wrap it.
Keep going, Tom.
So you can hold the bread on the bottom and eat it like this. Because I only want half the.
What just happened right now?
Tom just
I
got
only want half
freaky
the
with
bread.
that sandwich, homie. Tom.
At least you're being honest about it.
Turn
Ask
off
him,
the
say, look.
lights.
Remember this about bread. Eat bread, look like bread.
Wow. Ooh.
That's a good point.
Very
Wisdom right there.
Eat bread, look like bread.
Adam, final thoughts with you.
If it's more than 10
Chick-fil-A.
seconds, I'm going to make you stop.
My answer is Chick-fil-A. I've never been in a Chick-fil-A until I started working at Valuetainment, and everyone started calling our friend Kelly Chick-fil-A Kelly. And she'd always say, my pleasure, my pleasure. I said, why do they call her Chick-fil-A Kelly? They said, you've never been to a Chick-fil-A? I said, no. I walked into a Chick-fil-A. I've never been more mind blown in my life on the unreasonable hospitality and customer service. I mean, the best thing I've ever seen in my life.
Let me tell you one last
incredible
Chick-fil-A,
hospitality.
One last Chick-fil-A story. One time the line was so far, we were in the Home Depot parking lot. So I said, it's going to be quicker to go in. So I walk into Chick-fil-A in Lake Mary, and it's jammed in there. And I'm at the back of the line. And I'm in the back of the line, and this girl comes from around the counter. She says, sir, come with me. I'm like, oh, I'm going to the front of the line. She took me to the front of the line. She put up there, and I'm thinking, she knows who I am.
Oh, yeah.
This is fantastic. I'm getting preferential treatment. And I said, I got my stuff. I'm going ahead of everybody. And she said, thank you very much. And I said, thank you very much for doing this for me. And she said, don't worry about it, sir. We do this for all of our seniors.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
And I'm like, fuck me.
Got you down a peg.
I'll never go. I will never go. I will wait in the fucking I-4. I'm never going in.
The great John Morgan.
Oh, my God. I didn't know where that was going.
Oh, my God, dude. I just cramped up with that.
Get the hell away from me. Oh, God, it's so
Well,
never inside.
Listen, 70-30, our audience chose Chick-fil-A. Look, you guys, no matter what with the survey, they're like, nah, I'm going with Chick-fil-A. Let me see what the exact number it is right now. Oh, my God. Is it 70? Yeah, 71-39.
Our audience has good taste.
Chick-fil-A's got it. Okay, to wrap up, again, gang, if you're watching this, if you enjoyed it, go click on that link. Support them. And we have a reputation of being the best at moving books, because when we get folks that are here coming and sharing their wisdom, we learn from it, we support it as well. Go to Amazon, support the book. Book is called Life is Luck, told by a man who is not only financially free, billionaire, build a company that does very well. You see it everywhere. And we have a surprise we want to show as well to just kind of get a reaction. That's one. Number two, July 1st, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, VT webinar on fatherhood. Whatever you're doing, We're putting a lot of hours into this event here, specifically for fathers and sons, fathers and daughters. Mothers, if you're watching this, you're going to want to be on this one here with your family. You'll see why when you're on it. This is a topic nobody is talking about today. They're uncomfortable talking about this. It's like, hey, leave the dads alone. They're funny. They're quirky. No. We're going to raise strong fathers with this audience. If you watch this content, when I run into men, I run into strong men, strong fathers who continue to watch this podcast. I have so much respect for you guys. Do not miss this webinar, July 1st, 6 p.m. Go to VT Webinar to register. So here's a surprise. Do we have the commercial that we created for Morgan and Morgan just in case?
Hold on
I want you to see this.
Who am I sending it to? Am I sending it to Connor?
I want you to see this because
Connor?
we got to make sure. And by the way, but just a quick inside joke. You know who would qualify to be a potential title sponsor for the Vol Conference in 2027, 2028? Morgan and Morgan would qualify for some.
I do UFC.
I know you.
I do rodeos. I do rodeos.
You're everywhere.
WWE.
So watch this clip.
Go anywhere
Vinny made this clip specifically for Morgan. Folks, watch this here. VT made by Vinny and Natalia. Go ahead.
My mother was right about you. You'll never amount to anything. I should have stayed with my ex, John.
Lisa, come back. If someone hurts your feelings, you may need to see a therapist. But if someone hits you with a car,
oh my God.
You need a lawyer. Call Morgan and Morgan for the people.
Morgan and Morgan, America's largest
But no, it's not
injury
done.
law firm.
You can stop now. The commercial's over.
By the way, this is not a real commercial.
That's not
Vinny just made it to share with
I
the
made
team,
it
and he
to
just
show-
saw it for the first time.
I already just hired Morgan and Morgan for my traffic.
We're going to transfer you to Brooklyn where we do all our stuff. We do all of our stuff in Brooklyn. So
There you go.
you're going to Brooklyn.
All right, fantastic. With that being said, Vinny's recent shows, Venting with Vinny. If you haven't gone and check it out, go to Valuetainment Comedy, watch the show. With that being said, take care, everybody. We'll do it again on Friday. Tomorrow, Jeremy Boring, former CEO of Daily Wire, will go out. It'll be hot. Take care. Bye-bye, bye-bye.